Love ain't no equation, no formula to find. Ain't got no calculations, just emotions entwined. Love ain't rocket science, sometimes it's chaos, pure defiance. Love ain't rocket science, sometimes it's ease and compliance. But one thing it ain't rocket science. Oh no, it ain't rocket science. Heartbeats ain't algorithms, math can't solve the pain. No answers in the digits, just tears in the rain. Love ain't rocket science, sometimes it's chaos, pure defiance.
Hello, everybody. How are you today? We are going to be watching for our Saturday matinee, Aliens 1986. Oh my God, one of my favorite movies. And I hope it's one of your favorites too. And you have a copy so you can join us with this watch party. So I have some really phenomenal guests with me today. We have today Douglas A. Berta.
All right. Hi, everybody.
a little confetti.
Oh, cool. It's like a Tinker Tape parade in here.
Yes, and then we also have the wonderful Lorena Creole.
Hello, everybody.
Some more confetti.
How about that confetti, Lorraine? Ain't that awesome?
I love that.
Oh my goodness. Yes, a little confetti for the party. And you know what? Let's check to see who is in the audience today. If you're here watching, do comment so we can say hi to you. We got DJ Knight in the house. As a whole thing going on in the comment section. Really great to see you, DJ Knight. Let's see.
Oh, we got
And
Shari.
let's
Sherry.
see.
Sorry.
Let's see. Keith E is in the house. Says, I can hear you. Yes.
Yay.
And Sherry Lee is here. Says, hello, everyone. Great. Okay, so let's get into this movie really quickly. I'll start off with you, Lorena.
Mhm.
What is your first impression or first immediate thoughts about Aliens 1986? Any like early memories of seeing it?
Let's see. I want to say this was yet another movie that I did not get to see at like in the theater or anything like that. And my dad definitely did not want to rent it. So my first time seeing this was like in college, where I was just like, what? I could
Ooh,
finally see this sequel to Aliens. And when I watched it, I got Predator vibes because of the ensemble cast, that type of feel where you can't you have to have everybody in there together. If one's missing, it doesn't work.
yeah.
And it's like, we're going back into the belly of the beast. All right, how is this gonna work? And I just remember it being like one of the best movies, sci-fi, horror wise, where you just felt for everybody that
Yes.
was in there. And the quotes that came out of this movie,
So good.
when somebody says, game over, man, game over,
Yeah.
exactly what that means.
Yes. And by the way, and including the quotes, I just wanted to let everybody know this is the one time, or I would say especially if you're quoting anything, that my usual PG kind of channel, it's okay today that you don't be quite PG. It is a rated R movie, and so there are some spicy moments or spicy statements that are quite iconic in the movie. So
Yes.
this is the one time I will be allowing such activities on the channel. Usually I keep things like PG, but it's okay to say a little something. So I know that there is one individual out there that's like anytime there's something that's not PG, they're like, no, you have to make sure to tell people. But so today we are allowed, especially if it's a quote or to do so. And
Well, I will say, just
hello
to
to
piggy.
Stumprat, right? Really, really quickly. Just want to say hi to Stumprat. How are you? So glad that you can
What's up,
join us
Stunt?
today. Go ahead, Douglas. Go take it away.
Well, I was just going to add to what you were saying about the language. Aliens, this film is one of the greatest films that effectively uses illicit language. I would almost argue that the language is part of the film, like a character in and of itself.
Mhm.
I read the audiobook by Alan Dean Foster, and let me tell you, they scrubbed it of bad words. So, get away from her, you. I was like, huh. I was like, you cannot do that.
Oh,
Yeah, that does not work.
Yeah, I realized, I was like, wow, without the bad language, Aliens doesn't work. So
Yeah.
it is absolutely a part of this film. So this is a great one, Retro, to lift that restriction.
Yes, yes. As I was watching the movie and like thinking about it, I was like, yeah, we've got to let people be able to, have a little fun. So today, we'll allow it, and there may be some other things, but within reason, I think we should do right. But did you have more that you wanted to say, Lorena, about your first experience or like early thoughts of the movie?
um, just that it was just a crazy ride. Again, I keep seeing so many parallels between Aliens and Predator
Yes, so glad you mentioned that.
with just the way that works. And again, when it comes to language, these are what are this intergalactic marines. Okay, so that's mostly the reason for it. And I want to say one of the things with this film, with the language in it, that line that Sigourney Weaver said
Yes.
would not have been as impactful and as powerful as it was had she not dropped the B word that was in it, because
Yeah.
that's what made it work, for the
Yes.
most part. But I just everything, the fact that the xenomorph is even more scary, not because it's a xenomorph,
Yeah.
but because it's a queen xenomorph.
Oh, yeah.
So
With tons and tons of drones and Praetorian guards at her
mhm.
beckoning. It's like, "Hey, go do this." I love it. And Douglas, and I see that your mic's off. Just, what is your, like, initial experience with this movie? If you could give us a sort of an imagining of what it was like when you first saw the movie and your
So
first
I was
impression.
10 years old when this came out. I was 10 years old, and my parents just started going through a divorce. So
Oh, no.
yeah, it's terrible, but they also were a little competitive with each other. So I started to get away with a few things that I wouldn't normally get away with. For example, watching a rated R movie. You have to understand
Ooh.
my parent. I couldn't even have toy guns when I was a kid. Like, they were very strict. Everything was PG and all this other stuff. And then suddenly in 1986, I was like, "Hey, Dad, I I saw a trailer on television for this movie, and it kind of freaked me out because there was this like strobe effect, and there was these like soldiers, and they were desperately fleeing something, and with this strobe impact, and I was like, what's going on there? And it kind of got in my head, just the trailer. So I was like, Dad, could we rent Aliens? And he's like, yes. I was like, huh, wow, I couldn't believe it. And what's funny, this started like a nuclear arms race on rated R movies. Like the following weekend, my mom let me watch RoboCop, and suddenly I was like, "Keep them coming, everybody!"
Wow.
So we watched Aliens, and
Uh-huh.
I completely underestimated what a rated R movie could do. Because I actually
Oh, yeah.
my bedroom was right off the living room, and I hammered a hole through the door so I could sit and watch movies through the door. It was a wooden door, and the first time I watched a rated R movie was Nighthawk, with Billy D. Williams and Sylvester Stallone.
Interesting.
Yeah, and I remember I was like, "Oh, that's not that bad. There's some swearing, there's some violence." So I thought I was ready for Aliens, and we rented it. He turned out the lights, and my hair was just blown back. Those things scared the living nightmares out of me, and I could not go to sleep that night. Every little noise the house made, I was like, "Huh!" I was like, "I don't like this. Like, I can't go to sleep." So Aliens freaked me the heck out, and but at the same time, it captured my imagination, and I bought a couple comic books from Dark Horse Comics with Aliens. I started following
Ooh.
Aliens. Yeah, you know what? I'll pull something up for you. I didn't even think of this, but I drew some aliens when I was pretty young,
Oh
and
my
I got kind of into it for a while. Here I can pull it up pretty quick, but let's see, 1986. Anyway, I'll have to find it, but
All right. Can
yeah,
you do me a
I'll look.
favor and look for it, and then we'll show it at the end of the movie. Because I think it's gonna take down something I've got here. Because I have something pending that I think is gonna go away because I have it
Oh,
set
I
up.
gotcha.
Yeah,
Totally got you.
in StreamYard. And I just wanted to say quickly, hello to Zachariah315. So good to see you. Some other people that just came in to the chat. Sonic Jaded, and let's see, Chef Nation, and Charles Radcliffe, and the Owl Show. Just wanted to say hi to you guys really quickly. And the Owl Show says Predator is more like mixing the original Alien with Rambo, essentially high concept movie. Oh yes, I like that. I love that.
Yep.
Gate of Marvel is also here. Good to see you again. Says hello there. Here for the company and for the elevator trip.
Going down.
Oh man. Okay. Yes. Okay. So you had some more. Did you have some more things that you wanted to say before I interrupted?
Well, yeah, that's fine. I'll just say that Aliens is one of my top 3 films. My top 3 films of all time are The Empire Strikes Back, Amadeus, and Aliens. So
Wow.
those are my top 3 movies, and those are movies I could watch if I was trapped on a desert island and was forced like Clockwork Orange to watch 3 movies over and over again. I would be fine. I could handle it.
Oh
I
my
did.
goodness.
I got into the comic books. I read all the comic books, and Aliens has never been far from my heart as a storyteller.
Oh wow.
To me, it is the standard for creating characters that are memorable and likable.
Mm.
Oh yes.
There are multiple redemption arcs in this. It's so well written, and it also taught me that as a screenwriter or as a writer, that you can keep the pressure on your characters and never let up. And if the characters are smart enough and just barely escape, even hardcore pressure piling on can sustain a movie for 2 hours.
Yes.
So there's so much to like about this, and this is also what kind of got me into really watching the Academy Awards with my family on a regular
Oh
basis.
yes, because this was nominated for 7 Academy Awards.
Yes,
Um,
it was one of the big ones in 1980. It was the 1987 Academy Awards.
yes. And
Platoon
Sigourney
was the other
Weaver
big
was
movie that
also,
year.
yeah. Sigourney Weaver was nominated, this is rare, really rare for the Academy to recognize a movie like this. It's action sci-fi.
Mhm.
Never,
Yeah.
they
Never.
never do it. And
Hey, it's pretty rare.
yeah, even today. So yeah, my experience was we went to see Alien in 1979. I was 9 years old, probably way too young to be seeing that movie, but that was never a problem in my family. They didn't care. They were like, "Yeah, of course you're coming with us to see this rated R movie," and it was really one of the scariest movies I'd probably ever seen. So like, Halloween, all those movies, Child's Play. This was the truly scary stuff.
Wow.
And it was also like a movie that was had sci-fi, which was my favorite genre of film. And it was like, how did they, I was just fascinated by it. But it was a movie I really never like revisited as much because of how intensely thrilling it is, right? It's very much something that like an onion unpeels as you go on, and it gets even more terrifying to the climactic end.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas when we went to see this, we knew, so we already had the background story of Alien, and we were like, okay. We saw the trailer, and we were like, oh, this time it's gonna be war, and which is a great trailer. And so we were kind of expecting the whole idea of like this time we were prepared and we're going into battle. But when we saw Alien, they were not prepared quite. Not for these, there were not just
Mm-mm.
one alien that they were going to fight. They were going to fight lots of them, and it was one of the things I have to say about this movie, in particular, and what I absolutely adore about like any of the movies that are in my top 5, I would say, is the pacing. It's hot. It's like they're moving a mile a minute, and this was sort of James Cameron's specialty. It seems like at that time was like creating this incredible pacing, that just didn't stop. You had maybe a few minutes to gather yourself, and during those few moments you learned so much about the world. So that
Mm-hmm.
it was continuously world building, and there were setups and payoffs all the way through. Every little detail had a a payoff of some kind. So yeah, this is one of my favorite films. And for sure, like my mom and I, it was my mom and I. My little brother was too small, and I think he was like 2 or 4 or something like that. But my mom and I, we looked at each other and we were like, "Wow, this is crazy good!" And it was just had all this excitement, and we really bonded over that. And once it came out on VHS tape, we would play that over and over again. Anytime it was on television, we'd stop everything to watch that movie. It was so incredible, just that all that action, and again, set the sci-fi setting, and it looked fantastic. It
Yes.
really looked like, even today, like, and just to let everybody know that what you're seeing today is probably doctored up. They did some special work on the film to make it look flawless,
Mm-hmm.
as flawless as possible. But in that time, it looks so amazing. Like you've never really seen anything like this. A war in outer space, like this, besides Star Wars,
Mm-hmm.
and doing it well, and the special effects just like holding up over time. So this is just again, one of my favorite movies, and again, another Cameron movie, and just again, the pacing is probably my favorite of them. But I'm noticing in this movie, and a lot of the movies in movie my top list of movies, there's a lot of attention to the idea, and we've talked about this before, Douglas, of everybody coming together to make a difference by the end. And
Yes.
it's like everybody's teaming up to get to this incredible ending, and there's no just one person who really is the only one we know that Ellen Ripley is this kind of the superhero of the thing. Even
Mm-hmm.
though she has no magical powers or anything, she's just like the solid um, person by the end, or the final boss, if you will. But she is, there's a lot of people that help out along the way. So I love that it takes a team, it takes a village to make a hero.
Yeah. Yeah. These characters have such a desperation to them in this film, especially in the final escape. And I can't think of many movies that capture that kind of desperation and trying to get the heck out of a place. Like you feel it. You're like, get out. Even when I watch it now, there are scenes and clips and edits that my blood goes up and I get the
Yes.
excitement again. And I'm like, get out of it. And when Bishop comes in to save Ripley, I just absolutely love the way it's put together. I love the edits, the speed of it all. And another thing that this film did that was a little bit different was the athleticism of the xenomorphs. Those
Yes.
things would
Mm-hmm.
jump wall to wall and close in on you like that. I'm like, whoa, dude,
Yes.
like what the heck? I don't even have a chance. I haven't even started running yet, So
Yes.
like in
Oh.
your mind, they were so convincing on screen that as the audience member, you're not thinking with a critical eye. You're like, get out.
Yeah.
That's all you got.
Yes, I love it. I love it. And there is some heroin's labyrinth
Yes.
mechanisms in this
Yep.
movie
There's
as
some great
well.
ones in this.
Okay, and we will talk about them as they happen. And this is really great. Thank you everybody for being here. We've got over 73 people watching. This is really great. Thank you so much for joining us for this. I think you're going to have a great time. If you do, while you're watching and having a great time, go ahead and hit the like button. That really helps the channel so we can do more of these watch parties. And
Mm-hmm.
also, if you can't subscribe,
Come
so
on and
that way
subscribe. We
you'll
do
be
this kind of stuff.
notified. Yes, you'll be notified of the next time we're doing this kind of watch party and any of the other things I have going on. Okay, so and Keith is so sweet. He's got that in the comments. Hit the like and the subscribe, please. Thank you so much. All right, so just to let everybody know, we're doing the theatrical version. There was a director's version, or there was a different version where they had more scenes in it,
Mm-hmm.
things that were put on the cutting room floor. But I think for me, the theatrical really hits a special note because that's the one I saw with my mom.
Right.
And I do like the director's version or that other version, but I think the movie can stand on its own with just this. Those are just bonus extras if you really like a lot of the backstory.
Right.
And we can talk about those as the time comes along.
Okay.
Yeah. So just a little information about Aliens really quick. It's written and directed by James Cameron. We
Mm-hmm.
talked about the script last week just a little bit. It's heralded as one of the best scripts in Hollywood, and yet we don't have any more. We don't have a whole lot of films that are quite as good as this, or even sequels that have this incredible way of creating a sequel. It should be studied because it is hitting on something that I think a lot of sequels don't hit on, which is honoring and respecting the original movie, while staying completely in lore and creating more to that lore
And somehow
within the
jumping
limitation.
genres too.
Yeah, yeah. Jumping genres is not a bad thing if you've got the world. It's set in the same world, so it makes sense. And I think
Mm-hmm.
it was a brilliant uh, a sequel. If anything, Empire Strikes Back kind of did that too.
Yep.
It changed the story a little bit from like young naive, kids having a little fun in the wild
Mm-hmm.
galaxy to like a little bit more. There were more stakes involved, and it seemed like everybody matured a bit since the first movie.
Mhm.
So that I think instead of trying to replicate the first movie, which a lot of people, when it comes to sequels, they do seem to like doing that. Just give them exactly what we did in the first movie. And you do see in this movie certain moments where you do have those mirrors or that rhyming, you know, but
Mhm.
it establishes brand new territory that is, grand and again excellently told in this medium of
Yeah, there
story.
are, even in the soundtrack. So,
Ooh, yes,
Jerry Gold yeah, Jerry Goldsmith was the composer for Alien.
yes,
And, it's
Mhm.
a very interesting soundtrack because it's almost like it's got a little bit of, like, wistful, magical, lonely sounds to it, you
yes,
know? And then it also has some really disturbing, great music in there as well. James Horner is the, composer to Aliens, and, he actually borrows some, identical scoring from Jerry Goldsmith's Alien soundtrack, which I never noticed until semi-recently, where I was like, "That's from Alien." I was like, "So
yeah,
wow, James Horner reused it." And by the way, I talked about the desperation in the acting and the dynamics in the film. The score in Aliens, like Feudal Escape, which is one of the tracks, or Ripley's Rescue, some of the most
Mhm.
dramatic music ever written is in this soundtrack. It's just unbelievable.
oh yeah, it really shapes the mood. And there was actually some information about the soundtrack that I was able to collect.
Hmm.
Um, uh, James Horner was kind of under pressure to do the score in 4 days. And I think it was because, and what they said it was maybe because Cameron and his wife at the time, and Gail Ann Hurd, had just, were just starting out in the business. They had done previously
Mhm.
Alien. I'm not sorry, the Terminator, and and so they didn't really quite give James Horner enough time. He felt he had a bad experience, which
Yes.
and there was some kind of bad blood between them until the movie Titanic, where he just, he was able to come back and work with James Cameron again.
Yeah,
But
apparently they butted heads. James Horner said, "Look," and James Cameron and Gail Ann Hurd at the time were kind of riding high, like you said. So when they were and they ran into all sorts of problems in England with the
yes,
unions there and everything, and they
Ah.
yes,
started to adopt a very sort of "I don't care, get it done" attitude, which is great.
yeah,
But with James Horner, it was the wrong tool to use, and he was right. He's like, "Look, you cannot do this. There are last minute changes that need to be done as you edit."
Mhm.
And James Horner said, "I will never work with James Cameron again." And apparently, him and James Cameron sat down and they're like, "Hey, man, remember 10 years ago how bad that was? Good thing that's over with. What do you say you score Titanic, like you said?" And they actually put bygones behind them and buried the hatchet and got together. And by the way, James Horner's score was nominated for Best Original Music in
yes,
1987.
yes.
He lost, which I don't know how,
Who did he
but he
lose to?
lost. Who? Let me see. I have it up here. Best original music score. Herbie Hancock.
Oh,
Round Midnight. Well, that one is very creative and different. So that
yeah,
might be why
Yeah.
it was given some
yeah.
award.
Yeah, that's because I'm like, who did he lose to? You said Herbie Hancock. Okay, never mind.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
Never
yeah.
that
mind.
was a dynamic. That was kind of a new dynamic and deserving of a new
Mhm.
look.
Yeah.
But it looks like Jerry Goldsmith was nominated that year for Hoosiers, Ennio Morricone for The Mission, and Leonard Rosenman for Star Trek for The Voyage Home. Those are your
Ooh,
nominees.
Ooh.
So,
wow.
yeah, good stuff,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, I mean, they did end up having to remix his score in the movie to make it fit in certain areas because they definitely did need more time for him to have more time, but it also was like they ended up having to do a lot of extra work trying to make it fit in certain scenes, and it actually worked out really well because it, I couldn't have tell I didn't tell that there
Yeah,
was
it's like
any
the movie
issue. It
Jaws.
really flows together very nicely.
Yeah, like Jaws, there all the chaos we hear from behind the scenes,
Yes.
and then you just hit play and you're like, this is a
Where is
perfect
it?
movie. Like,
Yeah.
where how did this happen?
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah, just incredible. Yeah, uh, and I wanted to highlight this one. Sonic Jaded says, "From what I've seen, sequels work just as the origin film by enhancing the original story." Simply said, yes, and just enhance what's already there. You don't have to
Mhm.
recreate the story or say, hey, that story never existed. Let's just go over here. That's the
Totally.
worst mistake you could ever do with a franchise is disregard the earlier works as if they don't exist
Right.
because they do. And it gets
Mhm.
people become disjointed and feel like the time that they spent watching those other movies don't matter. And you don't want to do that
Mhm.
to fans. You just don't
Yeah,
do
you can't do that. I wrote this, I talked about this on Heath's channel, and I want to systematize this a little bit more, but similar to what we talked about, Lorena, on like Girl Bosses, where we were coming up with different versions
yeah.
of it and examples of where it does work, that it's not all bad, that there are times where these things work and then times where these things don't. That when you start to adjust lore, you're destabilizing your franchise.
Yes.
And the last thing you want to do is to destabilize the franchise. So you need to work with the lore that exists and then find an angle for a new story. And
Yes.
I think
Mhm.
that for Sonic Jaded, I think you're exactly correct. You want to work within that framework and then find something new. Surprise
Yes.
us. Take us in
Yeah.
a new
Exactly.
direction. If you have
Yeah.
great
Exactly.
characters, we will go with you as far as you want.
Mhm.
Yes.
Just to add to what Doug was saying, one of the reasons that Alien is so good, also called Aliens, and also why The Empire Strikes Back was so good, is that it basically said, I kind of look at it like this. All right, take that movie we just did, and we're gonna go in another direction. Like, what if the good guys don't win? What if,
Exactly.
Yeah.
in this case, it's just like, what is scarier than a xenomorph? Lots
1,000 votes.
and lots
Mama.
and lots of xenomorphs.
Yes.
And one pissed off,
Queen, right?
queen, because you kind of get you, it's like you get that. It's just like it made it more complicated. It wasn't just like, oh, we're just hunting this, rabid xenomorph killing people. It's just like you're threatening her alien babies, so that kind of gives her a bit more motive to do that. But it's like they said pretty much, how can we scare our audience even better, knowing what they already know
Yes.
about the first film? Because it's like when you see like slime coming down, it's just like, oh shoot, we know exactly
Yeah.
what's coming, and the people who don't know are kind of like, oh, I don't. This
Yeah.
just looks kind of creepy. Everything. It's just like what you remember from Alien, and just amps up the scare factor. And it's just
100%.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then pulls it off like it's convincing. Like we were saying, the
Mhm.
Yes.
visuals have aged perfectly as far as I'm concerned.
Yes. Yes.
I thought, the way that face hugger ran toward Ripley still creeps me out. The way,
Oh.
Yes.
the way those eggs open up was better than Alien.
Mhm.
James Cameron actually said that he had a script called Mother. He had a screenplay he was working
Yes.
on called Mother. And did you have something planned to talk about that, Retro?
Oh no, I'm familiar with the history of that.
Yeah,
Just
it's
agreeing
just
with you.
timing. So he had this idea of a story where two women were fighting. It was this battle of moms at the end, and when someone's like, "Hey Jim, you want to work on the sequel to Alien?" He decided he was going to take this script, Mother. He's like, "Oh my god, this would work. I can have the mom combat scenario that he envisioned on this more primal level, and boy, did it work.
Yeah.
What great timing.
It was perfect, and that one was a woman on a loader, fighting an alien is what he had, and he had a picture that he drew when he was of that particular thing, and it just worked. It just worked perfectly within, and his script again before the movie was even done, was loved by the studio. Studio loved his script for Aliens, and again, it all worked because he stayed within lore, didn't change it, and it seemed to add on to this world that was really, and then in the description of this, he says many times an orgy of fire by the climax. If you guys have ever read the script, it's like how many times is he going to say an orgy of fire? It's really great. And I just wanted to say we'll see you again really soon, Charles. I hope you have fun with your day. And yes,
Charles
and
is awesome.
oh, he's amazing. And Moonbeam's here. You're on time. You're on time. So I just wanted to also do one other thing. Okay, we're almost there. So if you've got your copies, start getting it ready and get your snacks. This was a 20th Century Fox film. Which is very interesting because now Fox is owned by
Disney.
Disney. Yay! It's a small world after all. And I just wanted to talk about the characters really briefly. We're not going to go into full detail of all of them, but just the actors involved. We have Sigourney Weaver reprising her role as Ellen Ripley. The studio originally wanted it to be played by, or originally wanted the lead of Alien 2 to be a man, because they said, well, even though a lot of people came to the studio to the first movie, it seemed like the audience was mostly male, and that James insisted that Sigourney was brought back, and I think that was an excellent choice.
Thank God.
Because I don't think it would have had the same heart as it does if without
She's my
her
favorite
being
all-time heroine, and it's mainly because of her actions in this film.
Oh yes.
Now I go back and I watch Alien, and you see all the seeds of her personality right there, and so now it carries over. But it was her heroic actions here that is so inspiring as far as picking a heroine to be your favorite. I mean, she's it.
Yeah, and she like I said, she doesn't have superpowers, and all the things that she does in this film is grounded in reality. She isn't like jumping over anything. She isn't doing flips or anything like that. She's not exerting any like superhero gymnastics. She's just within the world that she knows in her head that works in the process of the things we know she can do. That's where she's operating, right? And so we believe everything that she's doing because the reasons have been substantiated in the story, which I absolutely adore that they did that with her character.
Yeah, and she's also very confrontational with men when she needs to be.
Yeah.
And, I've asked myself, like, why does she not trip my, why don't I get irritated with her? Well, it's because she's appropriately confronting men or other characters anytime it's appropriate. So, when someone's talking back to her, she'll push back. She doesn't try to overpower them. She's like, I am being confrontational because I have to be. You leave me no choice. And
she's not
she's
like
tough.
snarky for like, she doesn't come off as unlikable ever. And just like nasty to people who are trying to be friendly. She is fighting for what she believes in, and that's the only time she comes out like that.
Well, and she's even though Hudson gets cowardly. There's one scene in which we'll see where she's like, "Knock it off! We need you, bro." And so she's posting him up, but she's also trying to say, find it. find it, man. And he's like, and when you watch Hudson, he's like, okay, he
Yeah.
responds to that. So I was like,
Yeah.
man, he's a great character.
Yeah, and just for that character, he needed that.
Hmm.
He needed something to do to feel like they were gonna get ahead
Hmm.
Yeah.
of this. But we also have Michael Biehn as Dwayne Hicks.
Yeah.
I think he's just amazing in this. But they originally had another actor that was going to play the part earlier, but there was an issue, and so he left the production. And Reeves was Bain was pulled in at the very last. I almost called him Reese because because he's my Kyle Reese. And so yeah, it was very interesting that he is a little bit different than the other colonial Marines, and it's reflected in his kind of maybe subtly in the acting, but also with him being brought in at the end to kind of like do everything. It just kind of like fits in my mind for the way the character is kind of. He's part of the group, but he's also a little bit different. There's something like slightly
He's got a
different
little
and
bit
more
more
thoughtful.
compassion to him, a
Yes.
little bit more empathy. And I think he's the beast as ally archetype in this. So he's a warrior, he's a monstrous, vicious warrior.
Yeah.
But he also has that compassionate side that heroines like to see, that he's got
Yeah,
some
definitely.
humanity there.
Yeah. And we've got Lance Henriksen playing Bishop, the android, or he likes to be called the what is it? What is the term?
Artificial person. He prefers the term artificial person.
He wants to be a person, so that's cool. And then we have Paul Reiser, who was, I would say, he was noticeably at that time he was a comedian.
Comedian.
Yeah,
and
he was
so good at it. Is like his comedic flavor was more of like the average guy kind of thing. And then
He's
he
an
later,
okay guy.
yeah, like a regular guy. But he went on to do that one TV show, Mad About You. And I don't think it was around at this time. I'm not sure the exact dates, but I remember that was also a pretty cool show with Helen Hunt in it as well.
Yeah,
I think that's what he's most known for, if not this role.
Yeah.
It was a questionable casting choice at the time because Paul Reiser is not who you think of when you're like, we need to cast the slimy bureaucrat.
Yeah.
But they somehow nailed it. And now Burke is like etched in my brain as this is the kind of guy, this kind of guy,
Yeah. And I just love his performance in this. It's actually well done in every way. I do love it. We've got Bill Paxton as Hudson, delivering some really iconic lines. We've got William Hope as Gorman. I thought he did a fantastic job.
He's been growing on me as the years go by. Yeah.
Yes, and Rico Ross is in there too. He's but I would say like an actor that doesn't really get a whole lot of
Frost.
roles. Yeah, and let's see who else. I wanted to highlight Apone.
What about Jeanette Goldstein?
Yes, yeah, go ahead, Jeanette Goldstein.
Yeah, Vasquez is one of my. She has been. I always liked Vasquez, but she's becoming one of my favorite characters as time goes by too. She's pretty tough in this, and when I studied it for the Heroines Labyrinth, I realized just how heroine centric Aliens is. You get confused. You're tricked by the testosterone in the film, but you've got a queen alien. You've got Ripley, you've got Newt, and you've got Vasquez, and these are the ones that do all the real heavy lifting in this show, all throughout the show. Now when I see that final escape and Vasquez is covering their rear, I'm like, man, it's all chicks. Newt's leading them out. Vasquez is covering the rear. Like I'm like, This is great stuff, man.
Yes, she's fantastic in this, and
Mhm.
definitely when I saw her, I was like, I'm gonna go hit the gym right now. We're gonna be like Vasquez. Me and my mom, we'd be in the gym working out. It was great. We have let's see if I can find him. I don't know what happened, but um, if I can find his name here. Oh, looks like I'm having trouble finding it.
A Pone,
Yeah, Apone. He's so good. That particular actor was
uh,
actually
Hale Matthews.
there he is. Yes. Matthews. Let me go to his profile really quickly. He was actually in the Marines. Like he was actually. Let me
Oh,
get a quote from his website that he used to have. He says, "I spent 6 years in the United States Marine Corps. I hold 13 combat awards and
oh,
decorations,
Whoa.
including 2 Purple Hearts. I
wow.
was the
I
first
didn't know that.
Black Marine in the 1st Marine Division in Vietnam to be uh, merito- merit- meritorious, meritoriously promoted to the rank of sergeant. And I served with Kilo Battery, 4th Battalion, 11th Marines, 1st Marine Division. And of that, I am very proud. Very incredible.
Wow. Well, we're proud
Yes,
of you too, sir. He passed away in 2018, and that's
yes,
very sad because he is one of the big, powerful personalities in this show. Even with minimal screen time, you never forget
yes.
Sergeant Apone.
Oh yeah, he's got one like really.
Like a
he's
day on
got
a farm.
yeah, he's got a lot of quotes in this movie come from him.
Mhm.
And one of them I can't say because it's too naughty. But
We'll beep you out.
yes, yes, blanket elbows. That's all.
He's so great.
Sure.
And he is the dad in this one. I don't care if you are, so Hudson, get it done.
Yes, he helped with the training of the actors in this and was very much wanted them to actually hold their rifles in the proper way. And one of the rules he had was that no one would actually have their hand on their fingers on the triggers of the guns, because at that point that's when you're ready to shoot or somebody could hurt themselves. So he was like very thorough in his training with the actors. And a lot of the actors playing the Marines decorated their uniforms with special like patches and little sayings and stuff. So all of that was part of, they made their own little unit of Marines in this production, and all the actors had something to do with their personalities and their characters. They did all the backstory for that, which I think is really incredible. It really shows that they really thought about this world completely. Everybody really put their stamp on their characters. One other thing about Al is that he was also a musician at some point in his life, so
Oh,
that's
wow.
really cool. So yeah, I think we're we're about ready. Let me just
That's
check
awesome.
one thing. I just wanted to highlight that because that is I think it's very important for us to know about these characters.
Did
They're
you mention Mark
they're
Rolston as Drake?
Drake. Yes. I used to have a huge crush on him. But
So
Drake
that's
is
why
one
you
of
wanted
those.
that you liked Vasquez working out. She got
Yes,
the hand clap
which
from Drake.
yes. Drake is really an interesting character because yes, we do know that Vasquez and Drake they're not only, there must be something else going on there because they're really down for each other.
Yeah,
And
well, yeah, they had chemistry and it was cool. It was like, I
oh, it's
think
so
from a
good.
film standpoint, Drake came across as pretty manly in the
Yes.
opening sequence,
Oh
and
yeah.
his absolute respect for Vasquez and willingness to tease Hudson absolutely validated Vasquez and kind of established an immediate dynamic amongst those three, and it really
Yes.
works throughout the whole film.
Oh, yes, it does. Tracy's Fractured History and More is here. Oh, it's so good to see you. I hope you are doing well. This is Lovely RNG. Yes, if you guys can get a chance to check out her channel, she is, a budding YouTuber, and is building out her channel. So good to see you, Tracy. And let's see, what else do we have here? Kay Ojo, good to see you again. Oh my goodness. Great to
Welcome
see
back.
you. Welcome back. Oh my goodness. Um, and Sherry Lee says, great conversation when I have to leave for 4 p.m. commitment. Oh, well, you have a great day. And it's so good to see you again. And let's see. Tony Reyes says, another glorious day in the corpse.
Glorious day in the core.
And hi, Rick. How you doing? Good to see ya. All right, so I think we're ready for the next part of this, which is definitely watching this movie.
Love it. I love the water cooler talk, though, man. It's great stuff.
Yes. All right, so the next thing that we need to do, I have the hype video ready. So while the hype video is ready, get your snacks and key up the movie. You want to get rid of any commercials if you have them, and let's do this thing.
Come on, it's party time. Hear the alarms chime. Let's watch a movie. It's time to get groovy. It's time to party, party, party. We got to party, party, party. It's time to party, party, party. Party, party, party all night long. All night long.
All right. It's party time.
It's party time. I'd like to thank all 149 of you guys watching right now. Thank you so very much for joining us. And also, what time is it, everybody? It's time for the banner. It's banner
That's
time.
right.
Dun, 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 dun. I want to do like a hammer time dance. Banner time. Let's see. There we go. Here's the banner. And let's see, what else do I want here? I think it looks a little different because I think StreamYard changed my settings there. I don't know.
Oh,
It doesn't, it,
StreamYard, what are you doing? Retro's trying to run an operation here.
I know. All right. So let's see. Okay, so I have the visualizer set up. The way it works, guys, is that you have your copy. I have my copy.
I got my copy.
Doug has his copy, and we are going to watch our copies together.
I'm just going to act it out, pantomime the whole thing.
That would be cool. And I also have a visualizer for you guys to see the closed captioning, and it really is probably the best way to keep track of the whole thing is to use the visualizer, and let me see if I can bring my my little thing here. That way you could see the timer. So I have a timer as well, so we can all look at the timer. So I'm also going to do a countdown, and we'll be pressing play for that particular, so that we'll all be matched up when we do the timer. Let's see
Right.
together. So I'm going to count down from 5 to 1, and after 1, that's when we'll hit play. So here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play.
All right. There we go.
Yay. See if I can. Yeah, I'm going to catch up to you guys in a moment. See if this works better. That might work better.
Yeah.
And
Produced by Galen Hurd.
yeah, just incredible. One of the most incredible producers of all time.
And that eerie music.
Yeah, and they did not do the glyphs, but they did this sort of almost like futuristic blinds or something where there's weird light coming through.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I think I caught up.
And they really do pick up right where Alien leaves off, in a sense that
Mm-hmm.
it ends with this is Lieutenant Ellen Ripley, or I don't know, is she lieutenant in that one? Last survivor of the Nostromo, signing off.
Yeah. Signing
Yeah.
off.
And she goes to bed with her cat Jonesy, and that's the end of it. And we assume she gets picked up by somebody, and and we don't know how much time has passed, but here she is floating through space. Exactly how she did at the end of 1979's Alien.
Mm-hmm.
And, what is that? 7 years between sequels. Back then, that was a long time.
Yeah. It was excessively long, and that is because there were just so many different things that just stopped the production from happening along the way.
Now, this is a complete, like you said, I think Retro and Lorena, both you mentioned how they stayed in the lore of the first film.
Yes.
While shifting genres and adding their own lane. And
Yes.
This opening is part of that respect side. This
Yes.
is exactly how Alien opened, with a slow panning view of the inside of the spaceship that we're on.
Yeah. And the movie ends the same way it starts.
Mm-hmm.
And that all had to be, I would say that must have been doctored up, because at the time the technology wasn't so great for blue screen, and at the time, so I think they did clean it up a little bit.
Man, for a welder, that thing is cutting through some steel, man.
I know. I need one of those around here.
That looks like a real one. I mean, that thing is, look at all that
Wow.
sulfuric alkalinity or something coming out in the steam.
Oh, and it's pretty thick too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the first time you see this, you don't really know what that is. You don't know anything. I remember being like, is she captured by an alien vessel? Like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
It's so cool how they did this. You see,
Yeah.
that it's scanning, what you see, like the fog, and it drags it out because we don't know what we're finding yet.
Right.
Yeah.
Until you see this.
So cool.
It's funny. This is actually very similar to the Star Wars opening of A New Hope. The Star Destroyer captures her ship. They weld through that door, and then these guys come in. It's just very toned down.
Yeah.
There she is, just like we left her in 1979. There's Ripley. I mean, it must have been kind of cool to see it done this way.
Yeah.
There's Jonesy. I remember that cat. That's the
Yep.
cat that caused.
So cute.
Now, this is called a match cut, where you you have two images like that kind of blend together to make a really cool transition.
Ah.
Yeah. That looks great.
And there's Gateway Station. I actually thought a sequel could have taken place where aliens got to that place and got, and the threat of them getting to Earth was there, but they don't get there, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I thought this was a very clever opening.
It's
To
very,
freak us
very
out
clever.
right away.
Yeah. Totally faked out or tripped out after this
Yeah.
scene.
I would say next to the xenomorph running around, recreating, having the alien burst out of the chest. That, oh my gosh.
Yeah. And it looks really good too.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And if I'm not mistaken, they give us like a little, sort of like a little tell, so to speak. If I remember correctly. We'll see.
That it's a dream.
That something is wrong. And you notice that before, it seems like in a lot of movies, before humans know something's wrong,
Oh, the cat.
Oh,
Yeah,
the
cat.
cat usually does.
Yeah.
Or the dog.
interesting.
usually
Great
does.
point.
Yeah, there's some sort of warning. And you go like, oh,
Yeah, the
what's
dogs.
going on? What's
Mhm.
happening?
Yeah, the dog's always tipped off the Terminators.
Yes.
Mhm.
Love that.
Blind luck that she got picked up.
Mhm.
Yeah. Jonesy. Jonesy. That's the only thing missing from this movie is Jonesy. And
Yeah.
on the other on L.
And cats only hiss like that where there's a serious imminent threat, like get
Yeah.
away from me.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
The glass.
I love how everything's slow motion.
Yep. Kill me.
When she says kill me, yup.
Yeah. Look at this. Isn't that great? Ah,
I mean, right off the bat, you're kind of like, okay, we're in Aliens again.
yeah, yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
But it also like makes you know like she's traumatized to the the nth degree because
Yep.
she can't even sleep without dreaming about the fear of what happened.
Mhm.
You're right. The PTSD is actually a very important part of the show because it becomes her motivation to go face the aliens again.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah.
In a hero's journey sense, she does refuse the call to adventure in this
Yes.
story. So there are Alien and Aliens both have aspects of the hero's journey and the
Yes.
heroine's labyrinth.
Yeah.
Ripley pulls double duty. And this is great. Just bureaucrats,
Yeah.
Mhm.
She's talking to U.S. aid right here.
Yeah. Well, you don't know for sure. It's like trying to make her seem like she's taking crazy pills.
Right.
And we're kind of yelling right along with her because we know what she's been through. But I love how they write it, and it's like these people really don't know. Like you're saying, they're bureaucrats, and it's like we just have to cover the company's butt. That's all we
Yeah.
care about.
Right. For reasons unknown. I love how he skips over her entire story with that
Yeah.
word.
Yeah.
So you just set self-destruct for no reason? It's like, I just told you like an
Yeah.
extraordinary story.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's funny, they said in adjusted dollars that the ship cost 42 million. I'm like,
Yeah.
42 million? That's nothing.
Yeah.
Lucasfilm cost 4 billion, you know.
Oh
Think
yeah,
about
they redesigned the character in the back that they're looking at right there. Lambert, she's actually transgender in this story from 1986. So that's
I
very
think
interesting.
it says something
Really?
on the back on that screen, right?
Yep, that they made her character actually transgender. That's pretty forward thinking back in 1986.
Yeah. Yeah, and there is a composer for the story movie Tron
Hmm.
and The Shining named Wendy Carlos, who was a transgender film composer back in the late 70s and early 80s.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
I love it. He just gets annoyed with her.
Yeah.
And I thought this was actually a very clever scene too, because you're putting the basically the headshots of each of the characters from the last film on that screen in the background. So from a filmmaking standpoint, it's just a very nice callback to kind of reset the board. And remember Dallas? That's his picture in the background. Remember Lambert? Remember Ash?
Yeah. I love that. It's just to let you know those were real people and their lives meant something to her.
Right. That
Yeah.
could have gone better. And then this is a pretty big plot point jump.
Yes. Yes.
What he says to her here. There's been people there for 20. She's like, people?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, from a story standpoint, that's a massive plot twist that there are people living on that planet now.
Yeah.
Yep.
60, 70 families.
Wow.
I love when he talks
Yeah.
about, self-destruct set by you. I'm like, yeah, she did do that, but she had a reason.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's funny when I think last week when we were watching Alien, we watched the Nostromo blow up, and Retro and I just could not get over that this thing somehow survived for Alien Romulus.
Yeah. It's crazy. She looks devastated, like completely suffering from PTSD there.
Yes, Tom Baker, Veronica Cartwright.
Oh yes. Hi, Tom Baker. Oh, and Lance is in the chat. Hi, Lance.
In T-minus 10 minutes.
Okay.
So now this is technically a call to adventure. And I love how this makes sense that once she tells them about this, obviously that's when Burke sends someone to check it out. And now they lost contact. So that it's not just random, happenstance. This is, there's a reason why this all occurs now.
Yeah. It's very interesting that everything had consequences. Her telling the story had consequences, and this
Yep.
guy like saying, what, okay, let's find that spaceship, that alien craft, and see if we can, see what happens, even though she told them about the alien and what happened.
Yeah.
So part of this is
Burke
almost
knows
like
he
he's
screwed up.
covering. Yeah, like he messed up.
Could you imagine? Hey, here's some coordinates. Can you check those out? And then like a day later, you're like, hello?
Nobody.
Hello?
Yeah. 70 families gone.
Yeah, you're in trouble, buddy. Got my popcorn.
And he calls her kiddo, which is like,
Very condescending.
yeah.
See, and here she gets confrontational with him because he's kind of crossing a line. And he's
Yeah.
getting a little personal with her. She's like, back off, dude. And he does. But from a storytelling standpoint, this is called the refusal of the call.
Yeah.
The call to adventure came. She's asked to go on this quest, and the hero, or in this case, heroine, refuses the call after the call comes.
Okay.
I love how the hero's journey and the heroine's labyrinth work so well together. You know, it's just, yeah, she's got that phantom pain in her chest.
Yep.
It's not there, but she can imagine it because she saw it happen.
Yeah, it's real.
And, yeah. So that's so good. Such good storytelling.
So then, again, in the hero's journey sense, the hero wanted to go on the adventure, the call to adventure comes. The hero, or in this case, heroine, refuses the call, and then shortly after, they reverse their decision and they decide to accept the call to adventure, and that's what this is.
Yeah.
And so the opening scene, which shows her dream of the chest burster,
Yeah.
is now the motivating force for her to accept the call to adventure because she cannot sleep.
Exactly.
She's so traumatized that the only way for her to sleep again is to confront these things and perhaps
Yeah.
save these families.
Yeah.
And I love her thing, that she gives them a condition to wipe them out. We're not studying, we're ending these things.
Yeah.
He's like, you got it.
And he lies to her face.
Yep.
He's like, yeah,
Lies.
that's the plan. No, it's not.
Yeah. And then she curses at poor Jonesy here.
Yeah, she wants him to be safe.
And you know that
I love
Cameron.
that little smile she has at the end.
What's that?
I love that little smile she has at the end. That you're gonna stay. You're gonna be safe.
They actually designed the Sulaco based on the M41A pulse rifle.
Oh, nice.
And the Sulaco was a kindred name to Nostromo because there's a book written by Joseph Conrad, a pretty famous author, that used the name Nostromo, and there's a city in that book called Sulaco. So Cameron tried to stay in theme when he named this ship.
Yeah. I love it.
And I figure Cameron had to have considered bringing Jonesy back on, considering how important Jonesy was for the first one. But ultimately, for a military jurisdiction, there'd be no cats.
Yeah, no. But just having him in the beginning was enough. Again, we're taking the lore from the first movie, where it just like right after that first scene, what happens next? What's the next course of action?
Right.
And
I love how he
not sort
sleeps
of
with a
like,
cigar.
it's just Andy, and he just pops that baby back.
I
in.
mean, right there, you have the audience laughing.
Yeah, like who is this guy? Oh, he was addicted to his cigarettes.
Yeah, and these guys are all giving each other crap immediately. Another glorious day in the Corps. Every formation of parade. I love how he just kind of stalks through there and kind of fires them up.
Yeah.
He was in Apone, Al, what was his name? Al Matthews?
Matthews? Yeah.
He was in Superman 2 as well.
Yes.
So yeah, right away you're getting a different vibe on this ship from Alien. This is a military ship. These are, it's like a Marine barracks in here. Here's Vasquez doing, pull-ups.
Yeah, I love the way the camera follows her.
Mm-hmm. Apparently, she saw an alien once. All
Yeah.
catty about it.
Yeah. They're like, yeah, because they've seen a lot of aliens. That's the other thing that backstory to this is that these guys are seasoned Marines that have seen all sorts of different types of aliens. And I really want to see something with that kind of storytelling in the alien universe.
There is a book, Retro, called Aliens Bug Hunt, which follows some colonial Marines on various missions with different types of aliens.
Oh, is that just a regular novel, or is that okay?
Yeah, there's actually some aliens novels. Now I've heard mixed things about other ones, so I haven't really bought any others. But I did read Bug Hunt, and I did like it. And I read the actual. There's a novelization, dramatization to the original Alien 3 script that was out there that was never produced, and I really like that one as well.
Hudson has so much energy. I love it.
This is great. Hey, Drake, what are you doing, man?
Hey, man.
They quit messing around. Trust me. And this is wild. I mean, this is just entertaining, right?
Yeah.
So, and that's your clue that Bishop might not be organically human.
Yeah.
I love Drake here. Enjoy your meal. Wasn't funny, man.
And they're at the dinner table when he's not eating. One thing I did like about the first Alien is that you get that crazy fake out that Ash is human at the very beginning because they put him in the life, he's in the life support containment unit, and it's like, why would you need to put a robot in there so it doesn't tip you off right away that he's an android?
Right, and they reveal him right away here as the android, and I think that's done for a very important reason.
Yeah.
And I forgot to mention, there's actually a great case to be made that Bishop either shares or is the Beast's ally in this film. Either shares it with Hicks, or is because there's. Remember we were talking about the doppelganger effect between the Beast and the Minotaur.
Yes.
The masked Minotaur of Alien is Ash, so he is a doppelganger since he is another android. And he's the one who comes in at the end to rescue her. So there's a great case for him as the Beast's ally.
Yeah.
And it's smart to reveal him as the android because what Cameron does is gives the audience kind of a red herring that he's more dangerous.
That he has the capability to ruin everything here.
Right. That he's going to do what Ash did,
Yeah. And they also have fake outs too. There's a couple of moments where you get that fake out.
So for those of you who don't know, in the military structure, Lieutenant Gorman is a lieutenant. So he's in what's called the officers' corps. And this is true in the American military right now. If you go to college, you enter the military as an officer. So you start in a different bracket.
Yeah.
And someone like Drake or Hudson or Apone, they're not the college educated. These are the grunts. Yeah. They go in and they can advance, but all up to a high level sergeant. That's as high as they can go. You won't see them ever become like a lieutenant or a general. The beginning point for a lot of the officer corps is lieutenant. So they're the college educated, they're the college boys, and the other guys are more your blue collar grunts. So there's that natural class, friction there. Another movie that came out in 1986 was Platoon, and you had the Ohio State lieutenant have the same problem with the so-called grunts in the Vietnam War. So they're kind of the usually clean cut, privileged, so to say, and that's what Gorman is.
Yeah.
And Vasquez.
I like the fact that she doesn't come back with anything snarky, but says like, "I hope you're right."
Right, exactly.
And she doesn't. She does. It's not like a battle of,
Yeah, she's not trying to establish dominance on Vasquez. And right here, she just reasserts that there is a danger. That's all she does. And they're listening to various degrees, but she just kind of reasserts herself. She doesn't try to overplay her hand here.
Yeah. I also think that the earlier scene with Hudson just got them all in trouble. I love this.
On DCS and tactical database assimilation by 0830.
See, because they could be chilling out, so he just put some work. He's like,
I love this right here. You heard the man.
But the earlier, oh my God, so good. The earlier scene with Ripley, kind of, doing that thing with oh gosh, what's his name again? The android Bishop is establishing her non-compliance, or she's not just anybody. She just like flexed a little bit, right? So, and people are saying, "Oh, something's up with that lady. We better not, kind of mess with her." It gave her a little bit of street cred. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, she didn't care because she made a scene and she doesn't care. And by the way, there's a bodybuilder behind that loader walking around in there.
Yes.
And this was great. Every scene is so important. So she says, I really don't fit in here. Is there something I can do to at least pass the time? And she's like, I have a class 2 rating or whatever she says. And so we get to see her use this loader here. And obviously that sets up the great confrontation at the end. And I thought the design of this loader was awesome.
Oh, yes. Isn't it great?
The sound effects, everything. I mean, this thing looks like it could have been built and used.
Yep. Yeah, it looks very practical and realistic, and I'm surprised we don't have any running around today.
And this also gives the audience a chance to really get a good look at this thing.
Yeah.
Its capabilities and range. Bay 12, please.
And that impressed that impressed those guys a lot,
Yeah, they were saying those things are actually really hard to move around.
Oh yeah. These are the smart
And they designed it off a camera grip or a holder, right?
Yeah.
And this is great stuff. I mean, this is more military genre stuff. The military, they're geared up. That was your gear up scene. And they're getting ready, everything getting ready to fire up, and they're going to go they're going to go out there.
Yeah.
I love the design of that APC. Yeah,
getting their
here's the
armor
rest of
on
that gear up scene. Yep. And we are gonna kick some.
and all their specials that they like having with them.
Mm-hmm.
And
And these scenes are great because it gets you kind of comfortable and you get that sense that something's about to happen, right?
yeah, yeah,
I like this scene here where you follow him out as they run out the door into formation for inspection. I love that. It's simple, but it's a great scene. It moves you
yeah.
into two different locations. Absolutely badasses. Let's pack them in.
Love that he's
Like
got a
what he sees.
cigar in his mouth and bark out or I love
Yeah,
it.
so great.
I love it. Like this is all the designs that all their design work in this is fantastic.
Yeah,
You know it. You know, Hudson's got the biggest mouth.
yeah, so good. Oh, I just wanted to. I'm gonna see what you guys are saying really quick. Moonbeam says Hicks sleeping on the transport is so totally me. I'm not a Marine, but I can sleep through through a fire alarm. Me too. I I just fall asleep whenever if something's like moving like constantly like this, I'm like asleep in no time.
I don't sleep deep. I sleep about 5 hours a night, and I will wake up pretty easy.
Well, I will say I have the same. Well, I'm a light sleeper, but when it comes to moving vehicles, for some
Oh, I
reason,
gotcha.
it's just like I'm out. In fact,
And this-
why don't they make a bed like that? I will be sleeping like 8 hours consistently.
We're on an express elevator to hell. This is great. I mean, I love this film work here. This drop
So
ship,
good.
because even as a viewer, it's like being on a ride, and
Oh,
they're
yeah,
capturing
yeah.
this intense experience for you.
Oh yes. I love the pilot, by the way, Spunkmeyer.
Spunkmeyer, yeah, she was cool too.
Yeah.
And I love the design of this dropship. And when it opens up and you get those missile racks,
Yeah.
like this, I think good filmmakers can put you in the experience of the characters, and that's what these scenes are doing. You're with the Marines here. You're in a high turbulence drop, going through the atmosphere into the unknown, right? And this is great stuff for storytelling. And yeah, Ripley's the first to really kind of break the silence here. And she kind of unmasks him in a way, in the sense that he's not experienced.
Yeah.
Simulated. Notice it's the two women sizing this guy up there.
Yeah.
Ripley and Vasquez.
Yeah. And Ripley gives
He's
this
like,
look
Kirk.
like, what
He's
the
like,
heck are you, this guy?
and I love it because the guys, when they like when Hudson is a coward and Gorman is a coward, that's pretty unforgivable, especially in the context of the scenes that they're in. The fact that both of these guys redeem themselves in this film is truly extraordinary.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And this is great too. You got a little bit of this in Alien, by the way. Watching the experience of the other characters through a camera and screen when Dallas and them go out to explore the derelict spacecraft.
Yes.
And here now we're getting a real hardcore.
Yeah, staying within the lore of the technology they already had working for them in Alien, and now they're using it and applying it to something, different but still similar. It's in the same world.
Yep. Get hot. Love it. What a great look. I mean, and this gives you that sense that we're armed. We have the equipment. We are ready to go.
Yeah.
That alien you saw in Alien, we've got it.
Yeah.
Like we have over prepared for the last film.
Yeah.
And this
This
was
is
good
how-
too. This is exposition. What, retro?
Well, this is also how you meet a character or a creature like the alien, right? He had the advantage in the last movie. This time they've come with weapons, they've come with technology, they've come with a crew of battle armored Marines, and this is how I've been like, okay, these guys are gonna wipe the floor with the alien.
Yeah. Now
Well,
these scenes here scared me when I first saw this. These overhead, you could see lights on. There's no movement. This is what started to get my heart racing as a kid. I was like, "Don't go down there."
yeah,
I was like, "Something happened. Like it doesn't look good." And
everybody's gone.
it's great anxiety because you can't tell, you can't see anything, but everything's gone.
Yeah,
Great landing, and I love the landing and takeoff of this thing. Down and clear. Look at that. I
and
love the
back
way that
on.
thing pulls away back there.
Yes, I love that too. And I thought it was going back to the ship.
No,
Which
it went
would've-
to, I think, a landing field or a
Yeah.
landing pad.
Yeah, which I thought it would have been much better if it went back to the ship, but
They should have had a line of dialogue, I think, to tell you, wait for us on landing pad 2C or something.
yeah,
Yeah, bar.
all of it is empty.
Yeah, this is where I got scared just with this. There's lights on.
Yeah. Oh,
The
yeah,
fact
yeah,
that there's lights on
yeah.
and no one's around. There's
Yeah.
something really disturbing about that. And soon there's like this half-eaten donut in this rain, as if something cleared this whole place out fast. And it was really uncomfortable for me to watch this.
Yeah, yeah. That's the other thing is this all happened pretty quickly.
Yes. Yeah, they're moving up. So this is where you probably get Al Matthews' influence. You got this sense of organized approach, defensive, like run a bypass. Like there's a very organized way that they're approaching this place.
Vasquez goes in first.
She's in first.
Ladies first.
After you, Vasquez.
But she's got the smart guns, and the smart guns are special in this world. So there's
Yes.
like
Mhm.
only certain people can operate the smart guns.
Right.
I think it's called the M56 or M56.
Yeah, all these scenes were very scary. So the tension building throughout here is great because there's all sorts of visual evidence of something bad. Something
Yeah.
bad happened in
Like
this
they
place.
ripped out the ceiling. There's like cords all ripped everywhere.
There's melted metal. Yeah, these are weird looks. Like, what is that? It's just some
What the heck?
contorted metal. Yeah, as a kid, I was questioning whether I really wanted to see this. I was like,
Really?
I don't know if I want to see what's at the end of this hallway. And by the way, Cameron draws this out. He really
Yes.
builds anticipation.
Mhm.
I mean, look at that. That's scary.
Yeah.
Like, dang, are you for real?
Like, yeah.
It's like,
Ooh.
what the heck happened in here? And gets revealed very, very slowly. Because first, they land, then they're outside. Notice there's no activity, a lit up bar sign, and there's no one at the bar.
Nobody, no sign of life. Yeah, and then he goes, probably explosive damage from seismic survey charges. So, like
Mhm.
makeshift weapons were being used, and that
Yeah.
is telling you a story too.
Yes.
Mhm.
I love
who-
details like that, where you can get storytelling in just a detail or two of dialogue.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like saying, yeah, they've used Molotov cocktails here, and you're like, ooh, Molotov cocktails. That's something
Man.
you would make at home.
Yeah.
Nothing on the motion tracker. It just gives you this beautiful false sense of they're okay. They're safe for now.
Yeah. Whatever happened here, they don't have to worry about anything.
Quarter and search by twos. Like you have to do a little research for dialogue like that. And of course, this is a horror trope that you split up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, don't split up. Yeah, we got to
Right.
split up. Ah, shoot.
I bet, and you guys can tell me since you were at the theater, or did you say you went to the theater retro?
Oh yeah.
Was the audience just dead silent through all this?
Oh yeah, yeah. It was pretty quiet.
And the motion trackers is such a nice touch because it gives the audience a sense of there shouldn't be any jump scares because they've got, see the half-eaten donut? Like the guy was eating there.
Yeah. He was like, he just got a chance to eat one bite, and then it was like,
Yeah, whatever happened, he
You
didn't
got to
finish
run.
the donut. As a
Yeah.
man, you have to know your priorities. You finish that thing before you get out of there.
no donut must escape.
And this is good too. This is the first bit of evidence that actually corroborates the detail in her story of the acid for blood.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so now the audience is getting treated to, we just saw a few drips in Alien. Now we're seeing giant holes burnt all the way through. So it's like, that wasn't an incision of a knuckle. That was like something big landed there.
Mhm.
Did you see what Vasquez did?
Yeah, she tried to shove Hudson in. Quit screwing around. And I love this dialogue because, as the audience, that's the only order you don't want to hear. We're fine. Go on in. And this scared me too. This makeshift barricade.
Yeah, they were
Look at
there
those
trying
red
to lock
frames and-
something out.
I mean, the storytelling in the set design in this film is incredible.
Oh, it's wonderful.
Looks like the barricade didn't hold. Any bodies? Nope. I mean, it's a mystery. At this point, you're scared out of your mind, and there's no answers.
Yeah. And there's nobody around.
Mm-hmm. So we have evidence of a struggle. The colonists used makeshift elements to fight back and obviously failed.
Mhm.
And then we finally got the clue of acid burns in the metal grating.
And
So
the
now we're
most
like, okay, there's
important-
acid burns, and here
and
we're
the
about
most-
to get a big clue.
And another huge clue is, of course, the donut. We can't forget about the half-eaten donut
Yes.
because no human being will be able to eat just one bite out of a donut. It's our obligation and moral responsibility to finish the whole thing.
Mhm.
Retro.
Yeah. Ooh, I love this part.
Yeah, this is great. The music is great. Her reaction is incredible.
Yeah, she's like, these things, you guys try to analyze this? Look at
now we
her
know.
face. Yeah, look at
We
her
s-
face. She's like, what?
I mean, we've known the whole time, but now, it's official.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And those things look terrible, like in a good way.
Yeah.
Are these the same ones?
He's like, I love it because he's piecing together the things that she told him and seeing
Right.
them play out. Like, oh,
And I thought this was either accidental or intentional, but Burke values the aliens over the human lives. So he's
Yeah.
like, looks like love at first sight. And it's like,
yeah.
for who? Burke or the alien? Because
Yeah.
he was the same one. He's smitten by these things too.
And then he smiles.
Right there, that's another bit of exposition. There's two of these things that are alive. Obviously, that becomes very important later.
They killed him, taking it off. Yeah.
Because he was going to die anyway, though.
So that answers that question from Alien. If you take them off, you die. I even thought that if someone wanted to tell a prequel, tell the story of what happened on Hadley's Hope. you know,
Yeah, yeah,
show
that would have
John
been a great
Marichek
one.
go out there and get it on his face, show them take it off and he dies. Show the colonists' final last stand.
Yeah, yeah.
That might be a fun
And
show
even
too.
if you know that they're gonna all go, it'd
Or
be
do
nice
they?
to, or do they? Or it's just like, just give them, I think that would just be fascinating to see how they they found out, you know, what was
Yeah.
going on, pieced everything together in such a short period of time. They were able to analyze them. They captured, how many was there, like 4 or 5 of them there that they were analyzing?
Yeah. See, I feel like there'd be a military installation on the other side of this planet somewhere because obviously they knew about the alien 57 years ago when they sent the transmission to the Nostromo.
Mhm.
And now they have, it's been 30, I think it took them 37 years to get colonists out there and to settle the planet and terraform it. There has to be a military installation on this planet. I feel like there's work that could be done from a storytelling standpoint, that there's more here than meets the eye. And by the way, I love the sound of those pulse rifles.
Oh yeah, they're fantastic.
Okay, cool.
And Newt is one of the great characters.
Yeah.
I love her character. She's such a convincing, traumatized child who
Yeah.
has secret powers. She's the fragile power.
Yes.
She's the master of the labyrinth. She knows this place. These guys don't.
Yeah. The
And I've left
master
a
of
few
the
comments.
labyrinth. I love that. She's the master of the labyrinth. Ah,
Yeah, she is.
so true. She knows every corner.
Where to hide out.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, they come out at night mostly. She knows that.
Most-
Yeah.
Yeah, I follow the actor Carrie Henn on X, and I'll leave comments every now and then, and she'll click like or respond every now and then.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
I'm like, oh, news, very cool.
She's now a teacher. She didn't really go into acting, but
Yeah, which is a shame because she did so well in this.
oh yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Absolutely. And she wasn't an actor just to begin with, but
Right.
Cameron really liked her performance because he was dealing with a lot of children actors that were
Mhm.
like used to doing commercials, and so they were like a little bit over the top and happy, and that's not what he was looking for.
Well, she carried a stoicism to her role here, which is, I think, hard to teach a child actor. How stoic and grave and serious she is throughout most of the film. And I would argue that her screaming is kind of iconic. Like if I
Yeah.
played her screaming, people are like, "Oh, that's Newt from Aliens."
Yeah, yes, it's really true. Yeah, you know it. She's yeah, oh my goodness, she's messed up. That's who she used to be.
Right, and
Rebecca
that's
Jones.
a little freaky too because there's such a contrast in the before and the after. Something bad,
Mhm.
something terrible happened
Yeah, and she's
to turn this girl into that.
yeah. It looks like a beautiful place to stay, though. Like
You want to go to
LV.
LV426 retro?
No, I'd like to go to LV427.
Check out our metal storm.
Yeah, no. LV427. It's still in the LV system, you know what I mean?
So, and this is classic fragile power dialogue. Everyone else is giving up on her. She
Mhm.
seems like a burden to the group. She seems like a liability. She doesn't seem like she has much value. But the heroine doesn't accept that. The heroine has experienced being overlooked herself in a lot of these stories or bypassed. And so she has a certain sympathy toward other characters that get the same treatment. So the heroine tries to flip the script by being like, no, you guys dismissed her. I'm going to invest in this character. I see something valuable here. Heroines do this time and time again. And Ripley's doing it right now.
Yeah.
She's
I
taking
love
real
it.
time. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, well, I love it that she says, I made a clean spot. I got to do the whole thing.
Yeah, it's very motherly and down to earth, you know.
Yeah, it's so sweet. Like this is. Oh wait. I think if we can't hear you, Doug. Something happened to your volume.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Were you saying something at the end of that or no?
Well, what was the last thing you heard me say?
Oh boy.
I was talking about the fragile power. Did you hear that part?
No. I mean, at least I know that she is the fragile power. Were you saying something else your last words?
I was just saying that heroines take the time to invest in characters that are overlooked by others.
Okay.
Did you hear me say that part?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, yeah. So, and here we get a little payoff, right? Newt starts talking to Ripley.
Yes.
And Ripley's shocked. Look, she's like, "Oh wow, you're talking to me. This is great. It paid off. I took some time to care about you, and now Newt rewards her." And she's like, "Yeah." And she tells her a little bit about her brother, and then Ripley doesn't go in for the kill to plug her for information, right? She's like, "Oh, who's this? It's Casey." You know, oh wow. And then she asks the most benign question. You know, is your brother around here? You know, and this is a creepy head shake. She's like, "Nope."
Yeah, he going. And I love when Ripley asked her, "Don't you think you'd be safer here with us?" And she's just like,
Nope.
One of the
"Mm-mm."
best. I mean, look at that expression.
Yeah.
Because we're thinking like Ripley is. You know,
Yeah.
we should be safe. We got soldiers, and she's like, "Oh, it won't make any difference."
Yeah.
What? A 7-year-old or
Freaks me out. I'm like, and this is before we even see what we're dealing with. We know it's a xenomorph, but we've seen one in action, so we already know if it's one. Yeah, guns don't really matter.
I like the
And this
fake
scene is
out here.
meant to play on your prejudices, so to say, of androids being turncoats.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
He's doing what Ash did, which is to admire. Remember, she's like, "You admire it, don't you, Ash?"
Yeah.
So here's Bishop seemingly falling into the same trap.
The same trap. There's something about that because those androids, they are loyal to the company.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, and you also get a sense of machine-like logic admiring the perfection of the organism or something there.
Right.
And this is creepy too because they found him and you saw the little blips on the thing and they're in the other station. So they're heading over there. I remember this is where my stomach started to turn because James Cameron really led you down a few false rabbit holes there. Scaring you along the way, confirming your fears, confirming your beliefs. And then it's like, oh, no, it's over here. And you're like, uh-oh.
Yeah. I love it.
Here we go. Sub-level 3. The music here scared me too. Like I was pretty scared. This movie practically traumatized me.
Oh yeah. The music's great.
A V deployment, second team on left flank. See, that's all Al Matthews, I bet. Mark D with a C is here.
Oh, hey, Mark. How you doing? Mark says, my friend Larry is watching. He still owes me $14. $14 for paying for him and his date when we saw this opening weekend. Oh,
Oh,
that's so
wow.
funny. Oh my.
I'll see if I can get a
Oh,
hold of
and
Larry for
Gonzo
you, Mark.
here. Hi, Gonzo.
Now, I'll just say, I already told you how on edge I have been as a child when I saw this the first time.
Yeah.
Mhm.
This is the part that got right in there, and I was like, okay, I'm scared out of my skull because
This is
when
so
they
great.
encounter the colonists
Yeah.
and they're
So great.
frozen in these like nightmarish contortions,
Oh,
dead, up on the wall.
yeah.
As a kid,
I
I was like, oh
have to
my God.
Dang.
Like,
that scene is just so sick. But this is really great because whoever, again, set design, they modified and changed the look of that internal space in
Mhm.
the jockey for the
oh yeah.
alien spaceship. They modified it, made it like a miniature, a smaller version of it to fit the space where they have all
Mhm.
these narrow hallways and stuff like that. So
Now, this
good.
was nominated for art direction, and
Oh
it
yeah.
lost to A Room with a View.
Really?
Yep. It lost a lot of, it was nominated for several, but lost a lot.
Well, guys, we have a visitor, someone to join the chat with us. It is Lance from the Outcast Creative.
Echo.
happening,
Hello.
Lance?
Hello.
How you doing?
Lance, you're joining us for the
Doing good.
exploration of sub-level 3.
I'll be on
Yes.
for yeah. Whereabouts are you in the movie right now?
Sub-level 3.
I've just got in from clubbing for 8
Ooh.
hours dancing, and my ears are ringing.
Oh boy.
So I was
well,
quite
you're
close
about
to
to
the
hear some pulse
speakers.
rifles firing.
Oh,
Yes,
are we going into the? Looks like we found all of them. Town meeting. We're going into that
Yep.
scene.
yes,
We're at
yes.
This is
Looks like a
56
town
minutes.
meeting.
this is one of my favorite scenes in like a movie ever, and
Yes, it's so good.
that bit where all the blips start going off and Hudson's go, I've got movement. Where? Can't lock it in. There's multiple signals. They're all around. I never forget the audience, like, because I saw this at the very first public screening in the world because Cameron and Gale and Hurd organised it, and it was about a week ahead of the UK release at the Odeon Marble Arch, which was the biggest cinema in the UK at the time. So it seated about
Wow.
1,300 people. Massive screen. And I just remember that when you started seeing those aliens on coil, everybody in the cinema went, oh, and this kind of this tremor of voices. The audience was so into it. It was
because
just amazing.
Yeah, our last sight of these things was 1979 when one perfect organism was so lethal. And now you see like 100 blips. You're like, oh man.
Okay. Yeah, you're like, okay. But the
reason
scene
that
coming up right now, really was the like incredible moment when you see that lady that's like they found a survivor. They're like, oh yeah, we got a survivor,
And she's like,
and she's
Well,
like,
and it's
oh,
interesting.
that freaked me
that was
out.
crazy. Because like, what are you saying? What are you saying? And then you hear plainly what she's saying. Yeah.
Well, what's weird too is they find a survivor, which should have been a good feeling moment, and yet they played her opening her eyes as a jump scare. So
Yes.
it's in tone with the way these guys feel. So these are the scenes that put me over the edge as a kid. I was like, I don't like that. That's horrifying. That's nightmare fuel.
Yeah.
Well, and then you've got that amazing moment before that where it's like, Apone, we can't have any firing in there.
Yeah.
We're supposed to use harsh language.
Disarms them.
It's like the situation is going from bad to worse. The tension just builds. It's so well done, man.
Oh yeah.
No, don't put your face in there.
Yeah, we're starting to see body parts. We're starting to see arms. We're
body
starting to
parts.
see And
Face
Are you
there's
hugger
watching
shells.
Are you watching the
oh, Nick
extended
Brown.
version or the standard
Theatrical
version?
cut, Lance.
Yeah, just the theatrical cut. Yeah.
Oh, have
Yeah.
you Retro? Have you seen the cut with the sentry guns?
With the sentry guns?
Yeah,
The extended cut.
yeah, the director's cut. With
I actually like the
I-
director's cut.
sentry.
I've seen it once.
The sentry gun scene is amazing.
Yeah, they're
they
motion
recover.
censored
Oh
like
yeah.
batteries.
Yeah, I remember that scene. Yeah.
Yeah, they recover them from the dropship. And the way they trimmed out that sequence actually was very effective editing. And I get why they cut it for running time and everything. But it is a really good scene.
Oh boy, here we go.
So yeah, this is creepy. Like again, it's a jump scare.
Ooh, yeah.
I've got to get this. Got to get this up on my
But
computer.
Ripley knows. She knows.
Yeah, she's like, "Get your team out, Gorman."
Yeah, look at her. The way she's reacting to us is just great acting.
Totally, and this is horrifying.
Yeah,
Because she knows there's more than
thinking.
one of them. That's why
Yeah.
she's like, "My God, how many of these things are there? Just one."
and she's seen this happen before. With you know, back in
That's what we
1979.
wanted to happen the first time we saw one of those.
Yeah, this is her
come out.
recurring nightmare, and she has to watch someone else go through it.
Yeah,
And now they
And-
did change the look of the chest burster. They added the hands that wasn't there in Alien.
Right.
this is really interesting. The aliens weren't going to attack until, of course, they one of theirs got destroyed, and that was
they
it.
burn it up with the flamethrower.
Yeah,
They're like,
And then
okay, you want to kill one of ours? Okay.
we'll kill all of yours.
Multiple signals. And you see
Can't
that
lock
little
in.
bit of movement.
Yeah, this is great. Now we're going to see how these guys stack up against the xenomorph
Yeah.
because you have a bad feeling, right?
Yeah,
I've got a bad feeling about this.
Mhm.
I've shown
Front
this scene
and
at so many
behind.
movie quizzes, like so many times. Such a good scene.
There's something moving and it ain't us.
Well, and he's just said there's readings in front and behind. That tells you they're cut off, which sets
Mhm.
up Ripley's scene in a second.
Oh, dang.
Right there.
Yeah,
I
right
love
there.
it. I love it. It's so sneaky.
Yeah, I'm literally on the bit where he says, "Can't lock in. Talk to me, Hudson." So I don't know how close
So
I
she
am to
did-
you.
I think it's Dietrich just got jumped on and she just fried Frost.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
she's
such a
Frost. And Frost
that's
had
such a
the,
well done sequence.
explosives. Yeah. He
Yeah,
had the explosives, and so he drops it, and it's on fire. These
and
two
it's
are,
on fire, and that blows up 2 more people. It's like
Yeah.
one catastrophe after another. So well done.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
there's something I've studied in film, particularly, I call it the attack from above versus the attack from below. And each one, I think, has a different primal feeling to it. Seeing Dietrich being pulled up into the ceilings is pretty horrifying. It
Yeah.
demonstrates certain strength too, right?
and they're
I've met
not
I've met the
necessarily
lady who
trying
plays
to
her.
kill her. They're not trying to kill her. They want her alive.
Right.
Mhm.
And you've met the actress, Lance?
Yeah, she came to Alien War, which I used to kind of like hang out at because I knew all the actors that worked there. And occasionally I'd dress up as a Marine and run around and take people around the base. It's great fun. It's kind of like a live immersive Aliens experience. You can see it on YouTube. There's loads of videos. Just type in
Oh, I
Alien
gotta check
War and
that
you'll see
out.
it. Yeah. It was at the Trocadero in central London for about 10 years. And I took a load of people around for my birthday and I arranged for me to get pulled out the lift by the aliens. So that was pretty funny.
Oh, how
Yeah.
awesome is that?
Yeah.
And then-
So
This was
he's-
always
he's
sad
holding
'cause you
it
heard-
together. He's holding
that,
it
Retro?
together only because of Apone. Once Apone is gone, he's like, "What?" That's when he like panics.
Yeah, and this is great editing and film work. You see the one guy run, you see Hudson and Hicks run toward each other, and he's like, "Sir, like, move, move, move! Sarge is gone." That's great editing.
The Marine that gets blown up by the ammo. I forget the character's name. He's played by a stuntman. He
Frost?
was actually no. He's like he's only got one line in the entire film, I think. But he if it's Wes Bowski or someone like that. He was the first of the cast to pass away. He died during a stunt, doing a stunt high fall, only about a year after this came out, I think, a year or
Oh
two.
that's
man.
not-
Yeah, I only actually found that out quite recently.
So here's
Why not?
this is just Ripley's personality. Again,
Yeah.
she's going into a dangerous situation.
Yeah.
Whereas even the lieutenant is freezing up.
Yeah.
And this is great stuff.
Yeah.
This music is some of the best music ever. And the film work, the music, the editing, the acting, the desperation and intensity, it just all works here.
And I love the fact that Newt gets out of her seat because to her, staying in that is a trap. So
Yes.
she goes to the safest place that she can imagine, some little corner somewhere.
That's a great point. That's a great detail because she doesn't
Check this
trust
out.
the systems.
Yeah.
Vinyl soundtrack of Aliens.
What's
There
that,
you go.
Lance?
It's the vinyl
Oh,
soundtrack
he's
of Aliens.
showing the.
Oh, awesome.
So
Yeah.
cool. Thank you, Lance, for pulling that out. It's really sweet.
I love it.
I'm glowing green. I'm glowing green at the moment. I've still got my clubbing stuff on, and I'm eating cookies, which is I haven't had anything to eat, so that's why I'm off camera at the moment. Yeah, this was
And
all
this is
filmed.
good too, you know.
This was all filmed in West London in an old power station, East Acton Power Station. And when they went in to film Batman, which they filmed at the same location, Michael Keaton's Batman, all the alien gunk for the nest was all still in there. They hadn't taken it out. So the Batman crew actually had to go in and fix all that and take all that stuff out because they were using the
great.
same area. Yeah, they'd left it exactly as it was, basically.
And then this was always so sad because
Right.
Drake was like the older brother, tough guy, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
This is such beautiful
by the way-
chaos. I freaking love it.
yeah, isn't it
Yeah.
great? And
Acid in the
Drake and-
face, and then somebody else gets injured from the shotgun blast, and it's just
Yeah.
Yeah, everything has
all those
consequences.
little
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
don't think
man,
there's an
this is the
action
best.
scene where all these many things go wrong so fast in
Yes.
another movie that I can think of that does it as well as this one. Don't
They
think
said the
so.
only way to get that shot done, because Hicks or Michael Biehn kept missing the mouth of the alien, he had to stick it
Right.
in there and pull it out, and then they just did the shot in reverse to get that to work.
Oh yeah,
Oh.
I read that somewhere.
Yeah.
Did you see the new Aliens documentary?
I have not. Have you?
I have. It's amazing.
Oh,
So,
I gotta
so
see
good.
it.
Let me just mention this though. For number one, Ripley saves all their lives because they were basically dead, according to if
The
we would keep
logic
on
of the
going.
chaos.
Maybe a couple
yeah.
of them would have got out, maybe, but I doubt it.
They would have gotten out, but there would be no one to save them, basically, because the
Mhm.
vehicle wasn't even there. So she actually saved their lives. And then on top of that, Vasquez and Drake, they held on to an extra piece of ammo that they were supposed to give to
Mhm.
Yeah.
Apone.
Yeah.
So they also by not going according to the rules, by going against the rules, they actually saved these guys.
Well,
Wow.
and triggered the nuclear explosion, by the way. They messed
Yeah.
up too.
We messed
Yeah.
up, yeah, and which is great because those are consequences we needed to ramp up the story.
But the script addresses it all. It's so well done.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we
Just get away
we
from
break
me,
the
man.
rules.
I love that. She's like, I'm fine.
Ripley runs over an alien.
Mm-hmm. No, I think this was from a writing standpoint, because Gorman froze up, I bet they had trouble on the next scene in the script. How do you decompress from what just happened and deal with Gorman? So I think from a writing standpoint, you knock Gorman out so you don't have to deal with him right now.
Yeah.
Such a good idea.
Yeah.
Well, it totally emasculates him as a leader, him getting knocked out as well by sort of something trivial compared to everything else that's happened. His injury is like really minor, you know.
Yeah, an accident. Yeah, a crate accident.
Yeah.
And all that smoke in there is from the acid burning on some of their armor.
Yeah.
So that APC vehicle, that was outside the cinema when we went to see it.
Oh,
They had it. They had
cool.
it in Leicester Square because I saw the film twice within a week. I saw it Marble Arch, and then I went to see Odeon Leicester Square. And when we went to see it Odeon Leicester Square, Bill Paxton and one of the other cast was in the audience, but we didn't know at the time. They were
Mm.
like baseball caps, and they wanted to see what the audience reaction was going to be like because everybody in the UK was telling everybody in the industry the film was going to flop. All the crew hated Cameron. So
Yep.
they went round telling everyone that the film was going to be rubbish. And that's why Gail and Cameron organised that screening at the Marble Arch, because they knew if 1,300 members of the public went to see the film and thought it was amazing before it was even going to be released, all of those voices would be like the internet today, on the phone to other people. And it was all staff from all the cinemas, all round out to London. So very clever.
Wow. Well, and here's some dialogue that I appreciate too, because she's like, why don't we just nuke them all from orbit? It's like, finally,
Yeah.
somebody says the most extreme but practical idea, right?
Yeah.
And then of course Burke's like, I can't authorize that.
There's a dollar value to this. It's like, yeah.
But who confronts him? It's Ripley. And she does it in a calm voice. She's like, I believe Hicks has authority here. So she's not yelling at him. She's not in his face. And she just bumps him.
It's like he just said what we were all thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. Hicks has her back.
Yeah.
And she's like, finally. But that's also evidence in heroine-centric stories of how the heroine is gaining authority in the story.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And usually it's when other characters start to view her thinking and sensibilities as the preferred thinking and sensibility.
Yeah. You know, all the Marines were down with like blowing up this place.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I mean, Hudson was like, yeah, now we're talking.
Yeah.
Keeping up with current events. We just got our asses kicked, pal.
I love that line.
So
This was the scariest scene for me, though.
Yeah, this
Like-
was scary. Go ahead. Yeah, here's the right out of here.
Yeah.
Here's the cavalry.
And it happened so fast. But this is one of the Queen's drones. You know, she told them, go to that, make sure that we're, this thing never takes off. As soon as they attempt to take off, that's when the drone goes.
Take out
into
that
action.
flying bug thing, she said.
The way
with
that
wings.
they did that, and you see the blood spatter on the glass, and then it just comes crashing in.
Yeah.
Yeah, this thing leans, it lists, and there's something wrong. And this is a hell of a shot, by the way.
Yeah.
The first time I saw that shot, the blood splatter thing, I thought she was reaching for her ejector belt, but she wasn't. She was reaching for her pistol.
Her pistol,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't until I saw it the second time because that happened so quick the first time I saw the movie.
Yeah.
I thought she was trying to eject out.
And just to put just to put this into your mind, the Queen directs the drone to do that job, knowing that that drone is going to die because it was on that vehicle and going to explode.
Hey, that's part of the job duties of a drone.
Yeah, that was its job. That makes it even more scarier because you're like, oh my goodness, what? They're not afraid to kamikaze,
Nope.
one of their own. So, and they've got a lot of them. They've got a lot of soldiers.
So here's where you see, this is an interesting contrast. You see the big brash Hudson start to lose it. He's not acting admirably. And you see the calm stoicism of Newt.
Yeah.
At the same time. It's an interesting contrast there.
Hudson is like going through in the back.
Oh, he just completely loses it because he's used to having all his weapons and everything working and having superior firepower and all that. There's a big scene about that in the extended cut where he's talking when they're doing the dropship on the way down. He's got all this extra dialogue.
Yeah. Well, he's cataloging all the equipment.
Yeah, all
Yeah.
In
the
an
weapons
exposition.
and just basically, making it sound like he's never got anything to worry about, setting
Yeah.
himself up to fail, basically.
So you're seeing the characters all handle this differently. And Hudson's the one that we don't like, right? In a lot of films, he would be a bad guy. We would all hate him, but he redeems himself in this, which is incredible.
Yeah.
As does Gorman.
Build a campfire.
So they established that the flamethrower is only half full,
Yeah.
which we get to understand later.
That's the scene where they say, and then at the end of that sequence, they go, and the good news is we have these 4th century guns, and then there's a whole extra bit of dialogue.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't want to rain on your parade, but we ain't gonna last 17 hours.
Yeah.
Hours.
Ooh,
Yeah,
all right.
the audience were really like laughing big time at Paxton's lines.
Mm-hmm.
He stole all the comedy of the, him and Newt actually probably really stole like a big chunk of the film. Everybody said Paxton was
Hudson,
really
in a
nice
way,
to
is.
work with.
I'm sorry, Lance. Go ahead.
Everyone said Paxton was really nice to work with. He's one of the most beloved people in the industry. But him and Michael Biehn didn't get on.
Oh, really?
No, on Tombstone they were barely speaking. So,
What
but
a shame.
I think Biehn was going through, stuff at the time. So different directions kind of thing.
Well, it plays off well in this. So here's where Ripley kind of begins to assert herself as a leader of of the Marines.
Plus, she's got a cool jacket, so
Hey, that's got to count for something.
Yeah.
I love how she's still dismissive of Bishop. Yeah, Bishop, get out of here.
And I'm so with her. Every time I see one of them, I'm like, they will turn on you.
No, this is
You just don't know. You just don't know.
I've talked about this before. In modern films, they skip this step. The tactical overview.
Yeah.
A lot of modern stories skip this, and that's why their action suffers, because there's no logic to it.
Yeah.
We're getting the Death Star. You can see here. You're getting that right.
The exhaust port.
Only 2 meters.
Oh, that's right.
2 meters.
Yeah.
But the approach will not be easy. I think I've still got my black bomb mask.
Then you follow exactly like the logic behind what they're doing. Like, why are they doing it? Okay, this is why.
Yeah. And it gives the action meaning that the audience can follow.
Yeah.
And so, if a door jams, the audience is like, uh-oh, you can't have that. That's going to throw off the plan.
Yeah.
If you skip these steps and a door jam, someone's like, oh, okay. Oh, I didn't know that was important.
Yeah.
Right.
And they're all working together to make it work.
This is a reassuring scene that they're, the good guys, I call it repositioning. They're repositioning, they're retrenching.
I call this the A-team scene. They're doing their A-team thing.
Yeah, they need the music.
Lots of shots with blowtorches and, all of that. Actually, you so could do an edit to this scene and put the A-team music on it for a laugh.
I love Vasquez.
It'd be pretty funny.
You need to do it in that 80s style where the actor looks at the screen and smiles and you freeze it.
Yes.
It's such a shame that she retired from acting because, man, she was so good. The only actress on the TV series of ER to play 2 different guest characters because the casting directors didn't recognize her when she came in for the second audition. She convinced them she was someone else. That's how good she was. Yeah, true story.
Oh, you mean Goldstein?
Jeanette Goldstein. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. She's incredible at that. She really can play anything.
She's retired now and has a very successful business selling women's underwear. So there you go.
Is that true?
Absolutely. I'll assure you, absolutely 100% true. And she designed them all herself.
Oh
How
my
did you
God.
land on that square?
She just said that there weren't bras that were decent for women of her shape or something, and she designed something specifically, and it really took off, and it's a very
Hey,
successful
perfect.
business. You can see she's got a whole thing about it on Twitter. So
Hmm.
there you go. Not a business Patrick and I, Douglas and I can go into anytime soon. Probably.
Buy
We'll have-
bras from me.
We have to come up with a different money making scheme. I've got so much trivia about everything in front and behind the camera for this.
That's great.
Movie.
So she gives Newt the watch
Right.
that
And this is an important scene because even if you so they had a scene that was edited out where she talks about how she had a daughter that died before she came
Yes.
home. So even though that was removed, this scene has enough maternalism that it still makes the movie work perfectly in the
yeah, I completely agree on that. Yeah.
So I mean, she has this moment. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say you don't need that scene with the daughter at the beginning, although it is quite moving when she learns she's died, and there's the only picture she's got of her is of an old woman. You know, that is quite powerful. But Douglas is right in the sense that the movie is just as strong without it. So it's just a nice little detail.
And it's based on the excellence of this scene of her taking care of her.
I've got the extended edition on because sentry guns have just popped up all over the place on mine, so I might be running at a slightly different speed.
I got to be honest. There's a lot about the extended version I like, and that's not usually the case.
I like the only bit I don't think should be in there is when they go out to the crash ship. So, oh, sorry, let me just mute myself. I've got a call.
So now here's where Cameron is like, all right, I delivered on freaking you guys out on what an army of these xenomorphs would be. Guess what? There's more.
Wait, there's more.
I love it. I love it.
Because that's how horror works, right? It's like it's that build up. I don't know why something strange, but I can't put my finger on it. And then that first confrontation with what the horror is that you're facing, and it just escalates from there.
Right. That's right.
This is how they find out about Burke.
This is incredible. This is incredible stuff. Burke's the one that actually snitches in a way. Or I'm sorry, Bishop snitch. So here's where I love her performance here. She's not being quippy with him. She is listening to him give her his BS answer, and she's looking him right in the eye. And I love that he's seated and she's standing.
Yeah.
It kind of gives you a sense that she's in the moral ascendancy here, and he is not.
Oh, yes.
And Paul Reiser plays it pretty good too. He's like, it'd be smart if, they don't know about it. He's just being open about it at this point. Look at him squirm. And she had all this knowledge the whole time. She waited for him to BS her first. He's like, okay, she knows. He tries to match her by raising his voice. And this is great. This is famous dialogue. I made a bad call, Ripley. Even my kids remember this line.
Yeah.
Camera closes in. I mean, this is good stuff. See, she is so effective at being confrontational with these guys. And I don't think I've ever met a guy that's like, oh, yeah, right. Every guy's convinced by her physicality, her willingness to be confrontational. Good. I'm happy to disappoint you.
And he's like, oh, man, I'm in trouble. I love that last look. He's like, ooh.
What do I do next? Plan B.
And
then here's your ticking clock.
Yeah. You got another set of problems.
4 hours.
Like, okay.
So they're done.
Yeah. This is really game over.
Sorry about that, guys. Work thing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no worries. And then Ripley is the one who comes up with the solution here too.
What?
Hudson, give us a break.
Yeah, I think I'm going to be at a completely different place to you now, probably.
I always found it interesting she laughed for a second there.
It's like you are so full of it.
Yeah.
This is good though. This is troubleshooting dialogue. I like this.
Mm-hmm.
The whole narrative with Burke is just another genius part of the film, really.
Yep.
Because they really sort of they try really hard to set him up to be a good guy, but they don't quite succeed. But that doesn't matter because it's kind of okay that the audience are sort of in on that dilemma. But we all know it's going to be bad. We all know that.
So totally agree.
Great actor
Hudson
as
is
well.
so not cool here.
Uh-oh.
I'm
And that's an
surprised
interesting line too, because it's shifted. And you notice they ended that scene with Ripley's reaction. It's causing her to rethink Bishop for the first time. She hasn't cared about him. She's avoided him. She doesn't trust him. And now Bishop's like, I'll go take care of it. And she's like, and while Hudson's melting down. So I think it gave her a pause there on Bishop for the first time.
Yeah,
and
they
Dan
kept
Kennedy down there is on Team Burke.
They kept the ambiguity of Bishop in this film, whether he is going to be bad or not. The way they did that was with that scene where he's examining the face hugger thing, isn't it? And one of the guys says, "Do you need anything else, Bishop? Bishop, hello." And he's kind of off in another world. And that was the scene where it's
100%.
Fake expectation for the audience that he's going to be a bad guy. Very clever, I thought.
Totally. And honestly, that shot of Bishop crawling in that tunnel is so claustrophobic. And I'm not even claustrophobic, but I get it there.
Yes. Yes, I remember seeing that and just being like, oh gosh, no way.
Very.
I would just let us blow up. I'm not crawling through that little tiny hole.
What's funny is out of all the cowardly things that Hudson says, the best is, yeah, right, man. Bishop should go.
Yeah, Bishop should go. Good idea. Good idea. I've got the sentry guns firing on my version now. All the ammo is starting to run down, and they're going, "How many of these things are there?"
Yeah. I love that scene.
I explain that in the comic, by the way. There's a comic about what would be the prequel film to this, where the aliens infest the base and all that, and they've got a load of livestock in the colony, and the livestock also all get infected. So there's about 100 cows or something. So that's another 100 aliens in addition to the people. Yeah, that's what explains the larger numbers.
Oh,
but you don't
okay. I
don't think we really need to know that in the film, but it is explained.
Interesting.
Yeah, that prologue comic was called Newt's Tale. So it's all told from Newt's point of view when the base is getting taken over and her and her brother trying to escape in the tunnels, and it's very clever.
See, I read a comic book. It was a 4-part series. It had really cool covers, and Newt was like 18 in it. I was like,
"Oh, I've got those Dark Horse."
Yeah, and it's really cool. And Newt's like hot and like.
The first sequel to Aliens, that was a really good storyline. Could have made a great movie.
Yeah, that was Dark Horse, right? Dark Horse Comics.
Yeah, I've still got them all. I might send those to Retro to have a read.
Yeah, I read those. I read Earth War, and shoot, what was the other one? There's another one.
I used to get all the Dark Horse. So I've got all the Dark Horse Predators, Aliens versus Predator. And the Aliens versus Predator Dark Horse story was so good that would have made the best Aliens Predator movie ever, and they didn't. They didn't go with that storyline, and it was like, why not?
What's funny, Lance, is I remember reading those comics and just getting lost in them because I loved the stories. And then Alien 3 came out, and I was like, what? I was like,
sorry, Retro, we're going down a bit of a rabbit hole.
Oh, sorry. What just happened? I think it's very important because we see the lieutenant come out, and he no, not the lieutenant, yeah, the lieutenant come out, and he's sort of like, he
Injured.
almost sounds like he was about to say I'm sorry,
Yeah. Yep.
but
Yeah. Well,
But
you're
he's
right.
like,
Realizes how
save it,
ineffective,
you know?
how ineffective that would be, basically.
Yeah,
She's
she's like, save it. And then I like how Vasquez gives him kind of the stink eye. She's like, you
Yeah.
left us, bro.
yeah,
And remember, those are the two that are together in the end. So it's
Yeah,
that's
which
an important
makes
scene.
their ending so much more satisfying. That
Totally.
because in the end he kind of comes through for her. If it really, to the
Yeah,
degree that
he
can.
redeems himself. And
Yeah.
and Retro, you mentioned in the APC how Newt got out of the seatbelt area and into a corner.
yeah.
And here again,
Same
she's
thing.
not doing anything conventional. She's always
No.
finding a nook or a cranny.
That's my kind of girl. I like her.
Yeah.
I like that. Don't just take comfort for granted.
Well, what's funny is
Just
in my
like-
analysis of heroine-centric stories, I noticed that heroines do not trust convention. It's a weird thing. According to what,
Interesting.
yes, from what I can tell, they don't trust convention because, from what I can tell, it's because they think it hides things. Convention seems to hide things, and if it's too, and they don't trust that it's going to be, it's going to hold up under pressure.
I want to hear
Or
Lorenya's
it's-
opinion on that.
The what?
I want to hear Lorenya's opinion on that.
What? Not trusting convention?
Yeah.
Huh. That's an interesting thought.
Yeah.
I've never
Well,
thought about it that way. Then again, with my particular personality set, I'm pretty conservative, and engineers are kind of conservative. So we tend to trust structures that are in place until they start doing something that they shouldn't do.
Right, the black swan.
Yeah.
Anyone who's
Yeah.
got a Mickey Mouse number plate on their car can't be that conservative.
Oh, I definitely do not have one of those.
I thought it's a Walt Disney car plate. I remember that.
Oh God.
So this
Yeah, I
is
got a
pretty
castle.
important. Oh man.
So someone has broken the has gone into the room
Yeah.
and taken
Some-
the specimens out of
Case.
the jars.
And
And they've
release
also
them.
taken the gun that she had put on the bed before she
Yeah.
went to join Newt. So
Right.
this was specifically a setup, a doom situation that was set up. This is homicide. There's the gun.
Right.
Ooh.
Right.
That
So
was a-
your Minotaur has been unmasked, and he's showing to the extremes he will actually go to
Yeah.
get what he wants, and
Mhm.
that's characteristic at this point. I mean, he
Yep.
switches
That-
off this monitor. I think that's creepy.
Yeah, that's so nasty.
That shot of those open containers, I remember as soon as that shot came on the screen, the gasp in the
Mm.
audience. Everybody knew, oh God, we know what's coming. And we've never seen a scene with face huggers in this context before. Like,
That's
you know,
right.
normally it's always been very quick. Here, they're this totally different type of entity, and the way they animated them and made them move, inflated them with compressed air to when their legs pop out and things. It's
Oh,
really
God.
well done.
Yeah, the scene
combination
where
of
it
that and that
jumps at her,
animatronic.
They
Yeah.
did the same thing. They shot it in reverse. They had it on the camera and they pulled
Yeah.
it with
Yeah.
so that
Yeah.
it looks like it
Strange.
jumped right at the camera. It's brilliant.
Yeah, Cameron
Yeah,
came
there's
up with
a
some
couple of
really good
scenes.
tricks.
There's a
Yeah,
couple
some
of things where
practical stuff, right?
they did
Yeah.
things in reverse too, just to
Mhm.
Yeah.
get that look
That's the,
right.
that's the same way they did that shot with the aliens crawling along the ceiling, which comes later. That was done in reverse as well. I remember.
Mm.
That's one of the best shots in the movie. You know, when he puts the torch through. And anyway, it's coming up, so we'll talk about it then. Okay, I'm on Bishop getting the dropship to come down now. He's doing his remote thing. Have you guys gone
Oh, okay,
past
that
that?
must be something.
We're having Hicks and them
We're-
just found out Ripley's in trouble. She set off the alarm and they're going to get her.
I'm a
Yeah.
bit
And it
behind
just
you.
jumped
because
on
of-
her.
No, I'm going to skip ahead.
It's like-
Okay, I've got
Yeah, I
Newt
guess
screaming now,
everyone's
water and all of that.
This
Okay.
Yeah,
shot's right
that's
there.
it,
That's
that's
the
it.
worst.
Oh my God. It's got her around the neck. Oh no, it's trying to kiss her. Oh, no,
Yeah.
oh no.
You know,
That's one way
Did
to
I
say
tell-
it, Retro.
did I tell you I used to have a full size face hugger, and you could put it on on your face, and you could blow through it, and the sacs would inflate when it was on your face.
Oh,
So it looked
God,
like
yeah.
it was alive. Yeah, it was. It looked really good. It was horrible.
That's pretty cool, actually.
I've got a photo of it somewhere. It fell apart in the end because it was all made out of latex, so it wasn't very
Oh,
durable.
yeah.
The tail came off, and yeah, we used
Look
that
at
for
this
our
thing.
Aliens live role playing game.
It's got a hold of her, something fierce.
Yep.
Yeah, so they get you to open up. They try to choke you.
Yeah, these things are nasty.
Yeah.
Just the face huggers.
Yeah, just the face huggers.
Mm-hmm.
I always got a
That
kick
was-
out of how it took Hudson about 50 rounds to get his, and Hicks about 3.
Yeah.
He's like, die!
I like this.
That's how scared he is of these things.
Yeah, and he's like, but then Hudson goes, I won't repeat what he says because I'm not going to swear, but he's like, you're dead. You're dog meat, pal.
Yeah.
And some other words he says as well. But yeah, love this scene. Love this scene.
So good.
Yeah, and he's how much Burke is sweating in the scene as well. So it's like,
Oh, it's so beautiful.
beads coming
Yeah.
down his face.
And what's funny too is Hicks, who's always been the most level-headed, is like, all right, we waste him. That's such like a crass way to handle it, but it's for this guy, he deserves it.
They just put the camera towards Newt. I didn't realize how pissed she looked. She was like pissed at him too. And you're getting Newt pissed at you.
Well, you get a
Mhm.
sense
Really
that she
messed
grew up
up.
in this colony, and they all stuck up for each other, and they all died together in a last stand. And that now one of her own people would be willing to do this.
Oh yeah, the look on her face was just priceless.
Way to waste him.
It's pathetic.
Yeah.
Burke. He is such a terrible, like, good bad guy.
Yeah, yeah. Again, Paul Reiser,
All right, we wait
excellent acting on this.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the red light. They cut the power.
Oh man, and I bet Lance in the audience, people are like, "Uh-oh."
Yeah.
There's just something about this like red lighting.
Oh, that means y'all in trouble.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
and you know
emergency.
the director of photography came in on this with no notice, and it was his first major feature film because the
yes.
other guy got fired.
Really?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
heard.
the
What was the other guy from the
The other
UK?
guy got
And he was
fired-
real.
the other guy got fired a week in, and
Yeah.
Adrian Biddle was young and really new, and his son is also a DOP, and his son DOP'd one of my movies.
Oh wow.
And I didn't find out who his dad was until we were driving to the location. I said, "What did your dad do?" "Oh, he was a DOP." "Oh, would he have done
wow.
anything I would have heard of?" "Yeah, Aliens, Thelma and Louise." "Oh, yeah, I think I've heard of that."
Oh wow.
I've heard
Man,
of those.
I was the only crew member that didn't know he was the son of Adrian Biddle. I felt like such a tit, honestly.
Hudson may be right.
Really, really nice guy and as talented as his dad.
Yeah, Moonbeam, you're right. The red it's like red alert in Star Trek.
Yeah, red
You know,
alert,
that
yeah.
red
Yeah.
light on you.
Yeah, it gives the scene a great sense of urgency as well.
100%.
Yeah.
Urgency and danger.
And it's a simple thing as lighting, but it works. It's a signal we all know. It's universal.
They
It's that
did the same.
universal storytelling that is just so priceless in these kinds of movies.
Well, and there's
They did
something about losing electricity, right? I remember even in the movie Titanic when the lights go out, you go from a sinking cruise ship to
Yeah.
a bunch of metal in the middle of the ocean.
Yeah, talk about game over, man. Game
Yeah.
over.
Game over.
The sound of this like indicator, the more higher pitched it gets.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yes,
That
so
can't be.
that's
That's
the
inside the
future.
room.
Mhm.
And I think also
That's
as the audience, we were all expecting them to be below them.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And
The
then
attack
it's
from
like
above.
suddenly they look
Yeah.
up.
And it's really interesting because this is a technology that was really used in the first movie really nicely. But the way it's used in this movie is just
Yeah.
like it takes it to like yet the next level. It's just,
They
it's
hardly
just-
ever come from below. They come dropping down from the top.
So in
Yeah.
the attack from above is much more predatorial and overt. whereas the attack from below indicates deception of some kind usually. And there's
Yeah.
a primal reaction to both.
Yeah.
Being, when you walk around, if you're scared, you normally look at the ground. Like if you're looking, like walking around looking for snakes or something, we don't think of an attack from above. So that's always much more surprising.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, snap. They're like cockroaches up there.
Look at that. I mean, it's such a
Yeah.
great visual.
All of them coming in.
Cute.
Yeah.
Come
And I
on,
love the
Rex.
way they
That's
move.
good.
The way they move. There's some good wire work in there.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Do something, Gorman.
Work, you
Slime-
little. Ooh.
slime back till the end.
Yeah, they were supposed to get to medical, but oh,
That training paid off.
I'm sorry.
She
I'm
bypassed
getting
the
Starship
business.
Door.
Troopers flashbacks watching this. Have you ever seen Starship Troopers?
Oh, yeah.
yes.
This is a great
Definitely.
battle
Yeah.
in the dark. And Hudson, this is Hudson's last stand. He's kind of found his
Hey.
footing, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
He's come to life. He's a great warrior when they needed him to be at this point.
Yeah.
And this was the worst death to me is when they got him. This is the guy I
Yeah.
felt really bad about.
It's,
Yeah.
I mean, it's got an extra poignancy watching it now as well, because of course Bill Paxton's no longer with us.
Yeah. So this is the
I love-
attack from below.
And he's not just going; he's going down fighting, and like,
See, I think humans are more scared of that attack than the above attack.
yeah.
Do you know if
He's
Paxton
taking
hadn't got
below.
this role, he was going to quit acting. He was about to quit acting when he got the call to come in to get seen for this part.
Oh man.
Yeah,
Good
so
thing that
thank
didn't
God.
happen.
Yeah, because this propelled him to international stardom, basically.
Yeah.
No one remembered him as the turdy creature
Vasquez
thing.
doing her thing.
Mhm. This is why I freaking love her.
Oh, best female military character ever.
Vasquez.
Oh, dog.
yeah.
Yeah.
She's
Can't think of a better
incredible.
one. Emily
Work,
Blunt's one
this guy,
is pretty good
yeah.
in the Tom Cruise thing, but I still like Vasquez better.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of Vasquez. And
I
then
like the
Burke
fact
finally
that
gets his comeuppance.
even
Yeah,
Vasquez
that's
has got an arc. Do you
Yeah,
know?
yes,
It's
yeah.
like that's what's so great about all these characters. They've all got a little arc.
Oh,
So
there's the
that-
secret door.
I was just going to say, that's called the secret door. This
Yes.
happens in hero-centric stories all the time. You got Coraline. Princess Leia does it in Star Wars. They find a door to either another world or to escape. And here Newt finds the secret door to escape this room.
Yeah.
And notice this scene. You've got a 7-year-old girl leading battle-hardened Marines out of a combat area, and you've got Vasquez bringing up the rear. So this is very hero-centric, whether we noticed it or not. They're clearly in a labyrinth, and they're making one of the most desperate and uncomfortable escapes ever. No one wants to be
Yeah.
confined like that.
Yeah, I mean, you can barely. They can't stand up, so they're like crouched over.
Yeah, coming up the shaft. I'm in video game flashbacks too. Because remember they had the aliens video game.
And notice how the camera is a little below the eye line, so you're like looking up at them as they're coming at you. It's just really good stuff.
Yeah. Oh, look at that movement.
Yep,
Oh,
that
man.
little girl knows where to go.
Follow that kid.
Yeah, the labyrinth.
Wait,
Escaping
Yeah.
the
She's
labyrinth.
running out.
The shield maiden. And then here's where Gorman's about to save his reputation in a way, redeem himself.
Yeah. Love this scene because he
My
could have saved
girl.
himself. He could have saved
Right.
himself.
Yeah.
He could have saved himself. He could have left her there.
Well, the arc is, he didn't go back for the Marines the first time, and Ripley had to intervene. So this time he's like, I'm going back for her, and it cost him his life. And we remember
Yeah,
things
he's,
like that.
I don't leave somebody under my command behind this time.
Right.
Yeah.
Now that was Gail Ann
Oh.
Hurd, by the way.
Yeah, who put her foot up on the alien's face?
Yeah.
Yeah. Jeanette Goldstein didn't feel comfortable around guns, so Gail's like,
Yeah.
I'll take care of it.
She told that story. She told that story on my interview on the channel. It's there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she talks about it, so it's 100% true.
This has got to be one of the top romantic scenes I've ever seen in a movie.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
Can I just tell you? I'm just saying how they went out.
That's all. Yeah, it was not. So Gorman goes back. He's down to like just a handgun here.
Oh, it's so
Right
good.
there.
Yeah.
Okay, I might be convinced you're a conservative now. This is your favorite romantic scene in cinema history.
And everything has a
Lorena's-
consequence. The explosion to this is what knocks Newt
Yeah.
into the air duct.
Yeah.
That
You got
shade
my
has
So
you got my
good.
my
ramping
favorite
up.
shot in the whole movie is coming right up after this.
Oh, I
bit.
think in the water.
Yeah, you know exactly
Yeah.
which one I mean. It is so
Yeah.
the
It's so
the
creepy.
reaction from the audience in the cinema, 1,300 people going, "Oh my god!" like that was just
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
To this day, when that thing comes up out of the water, it like
Mhm.
evokes the most primal fear reaction.
Yeah.
when we had it on at the cinema and I was working at, all the ushers used to go and stand at the back just to watch the audience's reaction to that bit.
I bet that would be fun.
Oh, it was.
I actually love those clips on like Facebook and social media where they have audience reactions to like the Avengers or Star Wars. I love those.
I must have seen this at the cinema 30 times because I just watched it every night it was on when I was working there.
Oh,
So
how could you
good.
not?
And still paid to see it in London 4 times on a bigger screen because it was that good.
It is.
Wow.
It was a good year for movies that year.
80s, yeah, Top Gun, Platoon. You had a bunch of them.
Really good year for movies. I think Retro, we probably did a stream about that on your thing, I think. Did we get to 86? I can't remember.
Color
no,
of Money.
No, we didn't. Well, yeah, we shall do 86.
All right, I'm there. Count me in.
Yeah, the big movies that Children of a Lesser God, Hannah and Her Sisters, A Room with a View, Color of Money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Lesser
all
God
movies I've
cleaned
played.
up at the Academy, if I remember rightly.
I
I
remember
was more of
Hoosiers.
an
That came out that year.
Yeah,
Oh,
it did,
Hoosiers,
and
yeah.
that was
Not
cool.
the
That
water.
was released in the UK as Best Shot, and I've also got the vinyl soundtrack, and
Oh,
it's got the
no.
Best Shot logo on the front.
Water.
Wow.
Yeah, here it comes.
Dang.
That's a lot of them too, man.
Cynic. Oh, that is shot so well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And you know
that's a good shot, right?
that sound of that beeping thing in the machine is just like so iconic, you know.
It is. I think if you played that to someone in a mall, they would get into
They're like,
combat mode.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that shot. Unbelievable.
The paternal mother thing really coming out
Yeah.
here as well.
And, you know,
Hicks, we can find her with this.
What's interesting is that it looked like they were kicking very hard metal. It didn't look like it was
Yeah.
giving away at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, the sets in this are really good, man. And good use
Hicks
of real
kinda-
locations.
Yeah, I do love the all the sets on there.
Dang.
And this is Hicks trying to activate here to get her to snap out of it in time to reset, you know.
Yeah.
And here's another acid problem.
Yeah.
You know, I know Retro, you said you wanted more of the acid.
I wanted more acid, yeah.
Yeah, I felt that the acid was well used in this.
Oh, you know, it was well used. It was like this is a great moment here that they used it. But I think there could have been even more acid.
More acid, like cowbell.
That's the
More
whole
cowbell.
acid. A
And
river
this
of acid
freaking
blood
guy.
hallway. Oh man, he's
Got a fever.
okay. He's a mess. Look at him. It really
Mhm.
got him. I love that they put that in there. Like
They should shoot an extra line and he should go, okay, let's call an Uber.
Just one
Right.
more beer.
one more. Oh man.
And this
We
is
know.
great. He pilots this thing in.
Yeah.
Remote control.
Yeah. We're not leaving. We're not? What?
Yeah.
Not?
Yeah, and to this day, Ripley's decision to go back into Sub-Level 3 to save Newt is one of the most heroic decisions ever
It
made.
is. Yeah,
Yep.
it is.
I mean, nobody would make that decision.
Yeah. Like, oh, I guess
can
we
hear-
lost her.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Well, it's a paternal
Nice
thing,
kid,
isn't
but-
it? She's lost her own daughter, but
Yeah.
if Alien 3 hadn't happened, she would have adopted this kid and become her mum. 200%.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
in
And-
my
talk
and
head,
about
I,
ruining the leave of the last movie.
Oh,
Alien 3 is like, oh yeah,
Alien
Takes a
3
new-
only exists in a weird timeline. The Dark Horse sequel is the real reality in my head.
100%. Yes, I
Yeah.
totally agree with that.
And then there's another great storyline where Newt is much older and she's kind of messed up, and it's very well done.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
I need to reread those.
They are good, man. They stand the test of time because they're the best sequels we got. And it's also the best Aliens Predator movie we got or didn't get.
Yeah, it's always amazed me how comic books can nail it, and a film production with the budget and everything can fall short. But
Well, even
happens.
with this movie, like they almost made a huge flub by excluding Ripley out of this movie.
Mhm.
And so they almost made the big mistake. It's easy because they start making decisions about what they think.
Yeah,
is
if it
gonna
if it
work.
didn't have Ripley, it would have been a really good B movie as an Aliens action film, but I don't think it would have quite worked.
Yeah, and would it even be good?
yeah, it would have just been a war film.
Yeah,
But
it would-
I
mean,
didn't
it
agree
would
with
be.
Sigourney Weaver when she said, "Oh, I think we've, I think we've convinced it that you have to have Ripley in an Alien film." And after that, I was like, "No, you don't. We can do other films with aliens in without you. It just
Yeah,
wouldn't
you
work
can.
for Aliens." Yeah.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
world building in this franchise is actually very extensive. Lance, do you have the Free League Publishing Alien guidebook, core rulebook?
I've got the Alien role-playing game core set.
Okay,
And,
yeah. There is so much to this world.
There is. It's really good. And my friend Danny Webb, who plays the only convict who survives in the third film, he gets a mention in that book, his character. And I took a photograph of it and sent it to him, and he was so chuffed because he gets mentioned as the only survivor from that.
Look at her gearing up.
I know. With this look
She's
on her
ready
face,
for it.
like,
This is like an Arnold tooling up sequence,
You're 100%.
but it's Ripley.
Yeah.
And she pulls it off, man.
Isn't this the first ever female tooling up sequence in movies? Was there one before?
I don't
this?
think
can't-
so. I think there are
Yeah.
other ones. They're just older movies. It's not the only one.
Well,
But
then
not
this is
done
the
in
best.
this, not done in this style, leaning into that kind of Schwarzenegger Commando,
this
packing the
one
grenades.
even more so because we know Ripley is the only one who can really, really do this.
Yeah. And she has to do it for her character after she's been through so
Mhm.
much.
I-
It means
I-
a whole lot.
I envisage a similar sequence every time Lorena goes to the theme park. She's got a whole load of special stuff getting ready
Yeah,
to
that's
do.
it. Yeah, that is me.
Shoot her videos, and it's like, you want to do an edit like that, as an intro for your channel? That'd be really fun. That'd be really funny.
We're going into the theme parks, guys.
Going in, getting up. Let's get ready to go.
You could do a really funny spoof on that. That would be good.
So this
Oh,
is
man.
she's obviously going into the labyrinth here, and she
Yeah.
even leaves
Yeah.
breadcrumbs, those little flares.
Yeah, the flares. And just to remind us that she's the flamethrower is on half power, half energy. So she's using up her flamethrower points there.
So
You
we're
know,
now
what-
back
It's not
at
at full power.
we're back at the East Acton Power Works or Gas Works or whatever they were called film set for this whole sequence. And
Sub-level
the big alien puppet for this, the Queen, still exists. I've seen it.
Oh,
Really?
cool.
Yeah, it's in a museum in Lyon, the Museum of Miniatures. If you ever go there, you've got to go. It's such a good museum.
Oh wow!
Now, I believe she was supposed to have seen Burke as,
Yeah.
in one of these scenes. It was deleted.
Yeah, yeah. It's I can't remember if it's in the extended cut or not, but I have seen.
I don't think it is. I think
No,
they left it out of the extended cut as well.
Yeah, I
but
didn't see it
it's a
there.
deleted scene that you can see. It does exist. I've seen it.
Right.
And
There was a similar scene with Dallas in
Yeah, it's-
Alien.
yeah, and
Yes,
I
yes.
saw that extended version at the cinema a few years ago. The first time ever I'd ever seen that extended version of Alien. But yeah, there's like an alien moving around in his stomach, and you see it move.
Ugh.
So you know so she gives him a mercy killing basically, which is better than he deserves.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, but I don't think we need to see that. I think his suggested comeuppance is sufficient.
Yeah, and satisfying.
And I think it slows down the pace, and they probably cut it out for good reason.
Wow. It knew to take her bracelet
Yeah.
off.
Yeah, how smart these things are.
Mm-hmm.
And then we hear the scream.
Yeah. And this stuff, I don't know, whoever designed the gunky, branch work here, it's just perfect.
It
Looks
is.
like some sort of secreted resin.
But secreted from what?
Lorena, I bet you don't like big spiders, do you?
I don't. I tend to scream and then I go in Terminator mode.
Oh, at least you go into Terminator mode. I'm like, oh my God.
I think because I'm the oldest kid, that's always been my job.
Oh.
Nobody wants to kill the vermin except me.
And she wastes a couple of those there.
Yeah, she doesn't hesitate.
Those were the egg protectors.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's
That's all that nasty resin.
Oh,
look at that. That looks like it'd be hard to pull out.
Yeah.
When the movie ends, I've got some cool alien toys. I'll show you guys.
It's kind of like when spiders, when they capture their prey, in a place where they can't get out. But if they start moving, the spider feels attention and knows, okay, got to go back and finish it off now.
Oh. Uh-oh.
This is
they
great.
ran right into the... I love the way she stopped. She's like, oh, snap.
Just when you thought it couldn't get any worse.
What was the audience reaction to all those eggs, Lance? Was that a gasper?
Oh my God, yeah. I mean, when the Queen happened, it was more like you could hear everybody going, as you started seeing the sack section, everyone was going, oh, shit. It was like that. And then I think you hear the breathing of it before you see it.
Yeah, you hear that. That's the ovipositor.
Yeah, as soon as everybody heard that breathing, you could have, everyone in the cinema was going like, oh. Such a good idea as well to show the Queen. I think that was.
Oh, you have to at this point. Yeah.
Yeah, but I hated the ball.
Whoever designed, I heard Cameron designed it.
Yeah,
he did.
It's a wonderful design. Yeah,
It
along with
insane.
Yeah,
dude, that thing is menacing. That is a
scary.
massive.
We built one of those for our Aliens live role playing game.
What?
Yeah. And 2 people had to operate it.
That's awesome.
And it was surrounded by eggs, which we also made. I've got a photo somewhere.
Oh man.
A Praetorian guard.
I'm trying to dig some pictures out.
It's like, I will light all these eggs on fire.
Yeah, I love the communication.
Let me give you a demonstration.
Like,
this is fire. This is fire on your baby.
Yeah, this is the only communication between an alien
and a human, right?
Character. Yeah. A
Yeah.
protagonist.
Bum, 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 bum.
Yeah, not quite like that though. Oh yeah. I've just found. Oh, I found a picture of. I'll show it after. I found a picture of my facehugger.
Thank you for
in action.
All right. Yeah. So this is the Broken Truth, right, Doug?
Oh yeah.
I love the The look Ripley gives, like, you know,
Oh, it's the best.
you serious?
He's like-
yeah.
I like how the
So-
queen's like, "What's up now?" Like, this is what's up.
Checkmate. And it's like, what?
Yeah.
No, not my babies.
And
Yes,
all
yes,
this on fire.
Yeah, because that egg opening means that she commanded the egg to open at that moment.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she has the control over these creatures. They're activated. So if you notice, the egg was activated when Newt started to move. Once it realized she was open, that's when it
Mhm.
activated.
Yeah.
And the first alien, when the character, goes up to touch the alien, that's when it's activated and open. So it doesn't just open on its own.
Well, that means there's a queen alien inside that derelict spaceship.
Probably.
I think there is.
Yeah, because where did all those eggs come from?
Exactly.
Oh, found some great pictures to show you guys after.
I mean,
Newt
she
is
uses
the best
everything.
lookout.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and Newt gets involved, you know? Like, she's not just like, even she's like got a good arc like that.
She's like,
She's
behind
seen all this
you.
before, don't forget. She's seen all this before with her parents and the people
Yeah.
in the base.
And honestly, she saves all of them actually.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Possibly
That's
more than
not
one.
good.
Yeah. She's like, oh heck, let me get out of this. I need to handle
now we
this
got
personally.
the countdown with this very kind of like nonchalant, no parking in the red zone sort of voice.
Yeah.
There's her flares, the breadcrumb system. That's the
Yeah.
Ariadne escape from the labyrinth.
Yeah. Yeah, Douglas is all over that. Oh, what else we got? Yeah. Okay.
Now, I didn't notice this until semi-recently, but when this queen alien comes down the hallway, there's a ladder, and she bats the ladder aside with her head. Did you guys ever notice that?
No.
Oh no.
I didn't notice it until semi-recently. She comes down the hall, and there's this ladder, and she just smashes the ladder aside with her head. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Ooh.
Come on, Ripley, get out of there.
Not enough time. Not enough time.
This is pretty scary. This thing coming around a
Yeah.
corner.
Ooh.
Oh, I just found photos of another
Great shot.
aliens game.
What to do.
So watch this. Watch this ladder
Oh,
right
Yeah,
here.
yeah,
See,
let me
there's a
look.
ladder there.
Yeah.
Boom! She just swats it aside. You see that?
Yeah.
yeah. That shot, by the way, that's a miniature.
It
in
is?
that shot. Yeah, the alien is a miniature, like a 2-foot model. There's pictures of it.
Ooh.
And they kind of animatronics and stop motioned a bit of it as well, I think.
Wow.
She's like, what?
You use like every
Huh?
technique going to bring all these
You
things.
can imagine her saying, huh? What's this?
You know what's funny is, unless I was being chased by a queen alien, I would never get in one of those elevators.
Oh yeah,
No.
it looks really stable.
And this is great. One more fake out that Bishop was a bad guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, clever as well. Because you're kind of waiting. They play with that right till the end.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Whole
So good.
thing with it. Very well done.
Now, this rescue scene with Bishop is some of my all-time favorite heroic editing and footage. There's this weird shot looking down up of Bishop looking out of the cockpit, and his jaws are strained. He's straining, and it's like a half a second. And I don't know why I thought that was so well placed and captured the entire desperation of the entire sequence. Just that one little clip. This is pretty apocalyptic.
Yeah.
I mean, the
And
world
by
is
the
coming
way,
apart.
For anyone who doesn't know, every once in a while, to help Sigourney Weaver out, they would have like a little dummy in place of Newt around her.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, well,
so
it's
every
hard to
once in a
hear.
while they did it. Yeah, they didn't do it every time, but they did it every once in a while. Of course, that's obviously new. The real Newton is Derek carrying.
So Ripley was ready to give up. Close your
Yeah,
eyes. That's that.
it's like,
We're done.
yeah. They
And
close
her
your eyes.
punching over all this. This is great editing.
Yeah,
I just love it.
Water!
And the music is just up to the task. I mean, it's up
Yeah.
to the task of this desperate moment and everything.
So good.
Yeah. Oh, so yeah. This is really great.
Oh,
Punch it, Bishop.
yeah. Great music, which is, by the way, this music has been reused in quite a few other movies.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's slightly
Ooh.
longer and sort of different variations of it. There's a load of unused Aliens music. One piece of it ended up in Die Hard, right at the end.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
if you listen to it, it's from the earlier part of this section, which was obviously
okay.
expanded and longer. And Horner used to do 2 or 3 variations of each piece. And it's when the guy comes out the sack at the end, the body bag at the end, and the police officer shoots him and takes him down. That piece of music for that whole sequence is all from this score, but it's just a piece that didn't get used.
Interesting.
Real quick, too, that nuclear explosion was just cotton
Yeah.
and a light bulb underneath it.
Oh,
Yeah.
that looks great.
Ah,
Yeah,
I know.
it's unbelievable how much he got for the budget. What was the budget to this, Lance? Like 11 million or something?
Oh,
No,
think
it
it
was
was- yeah, it was-
18.5 million.
That's
Yeah,
nothing.
I think with P&R and all that, it would have been about 21, something like that.
Wow.
It
Oh my
looks
God.
more expensive though.
Oh my, well, Jim Cameron, I'm a no waste filmmaker. Quote.
Yeah.
mm.
That's his famous line. He knows how to make his money go far. It'd be interesting.
This might
to
be one
see
of
him.
one of the best false endings ever.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
You did good, Bishop.
You did
It
good.
worked too, because
Yeah.
you could feel the audience relax in that
Mhm.
cinema. Let
Yeah.
me tell you.
But you know, with the horror movies, the ending is never really the true ending. When you
Yeah,
think
well,
it's going to end, that's when you let your guard down.
I think the first person to do that was Cameron with Terminator. You got like 3 endings in that last sequence.
Oh boy, here we
Mhm.
go.
Before it truly dies.
Oh no.
Yeah,
This moment
Bishop's
was
about
just so
to have a
crazy.
die.
Yeah, and the alien just kind of deploys itself out from its hiding place.
Yeah.
Yes. That
Yeah, the
seems to be
gas.
wide on the whole ship.
Yeah.
And that's the first time we've ever seen the tail impale somebody, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, it can do damage, but this is specifically like a warrior
Oh,
using the tail as a weapon.
Mhm.
So now this is home as battleground. You're on safe space, and this
Yeah.
thing's right there.
Oh no, I'm still gonna go after her.
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah, both the Queen and Ripley are pretty committed to this task.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I like how Ripley's like, "Oh shit, now what do I do?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
So her first instinct is to run, right? Her first instinct is to retreat. That is
Yeah.
the rational thing to do. However, this fails to live up to the heroine's code.
Yeah.
Newt is still on the battlefield unprotected.
Yeah.
And so heroines have what I call a super rational approach, which is different than rational, which is self-preservation.
Yeah.
To go back out there for a shield maiden. So the shield maiden moment in hero-centric stories is when the heroine physically interposes herself between the masked minotaur, or in this case, the dragon archetype, and a defenseless character behind them, a few feet away.
like
And
Newt.
this is one of the best shield maiden moments of all time.
And the
Keep running,
music,
Newt.
oh my gosh.
And I like how
Wow.
Newt is kind of doing her one superpower, right? She's good with
Mhm.
ventilations, and Queen got her.
Oh boy.
Here it is. The heroine re-engages. This is just cinema gold.
Yeah.
I was so mad that Alien Romulus tried to reuse this line.
Yes, that pissed me
Oh.
off.
Yeah.
That film, man, just like, especially the alien gestation period thing.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
about 20
That
minutes.
was
Yeah.
just ridiculous. Just ridiculous. I knew they were going to do it as soon as it happened, and I thought, you're not. Oh, okay.
Well,
Yeah.
they did then the thing that I absolutely despise about sequels, especially sequels that don't work, is that they fail to create their own iconic quotes.
Moments.
Yeah, you have
Yeah,
to create those quotes. Like this movie has tons of them, but to keep hearing it in movies over and over and over again,
Yeah,
You know, I
because
rewatched
Tail.
it
Alien.
loses its impact.
the scene with the acid in Zero Gravity, that was very good. We hadn't seen that before. I thought that was very cool, but in an otherwise very lame movie, unfortunately.
I rewatched Alien Romulus recently, and I was actually alarmed by how many reused lines they had. There's about 20 to 30 reused
Oh,
lines.
that's
It's almost,
awesome.
I couldn't believe how many. I thought there was only a couple, but the rewatch, I was like, oh, there's another one. That's another one.
They went overboard with it to the point where I was just like, okay, I'm done with this movie.
Yeah,
Yeah. It started
makes
strong.
people in your eyes.
True, it did.
This is great
the-
stuff, man.
By the way, the puppetry on the alien queen is incredible, man.
Yeah, really
Is
well
it?
done.
It is remarkable stuff here. It looks really good.
Moonbeam, you're not missing anything.
Mm-mm.
What did it say?
It's on Hulu, and I regret that I actually saw it.
You know, it's amazing that this is 1986, guys. I can't
Mhm.
believe how well this holds up to this
Oh,
day.
yeah.
Mm.
And look, there was some digital work done here as well. On the most part, a lot of the practical stuff just looks great.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, it still holds up incredibly well. It's still one of the best films of
Yeah.
its genre ever made.
Yeah,
They always grab you by the foot.
I know.
Yeah.
The
Always.
attack
That's
from
why
below.
that's why you need like an ankle dagger.
It's another, we thought it was all over, now it's not moment.
This is incredible.
Hold on,
Now
guys.
Ripley is risking everybody's life here. Newt could have
Yeah.
easily gone over. Bishop could have gone over. And watch this giant crate that almost takes Ripley out.
Yeah, nearly knocks her over, doesn't it?
And it's got a great sound effect. It's like cling. This is great. I remember when I first saw this, I thought her arm came out of her socket as a kid. I didn't
Yeah.
realize her shoe came off.
I
Yeah,
thought
a
she
lot
was
of
going
nice
to lose her arm.
detail. And then it goes
Hurry
out.
up before you lose consciousness.
Yep.
Of course, we don't see the alien
And then
queen
there's
die. We just see her
Bishop.
go out into space.
Yeah,
Bishop saves Newt.
Yep.
What right here? I love Ripley coming up over the edge here. It's such a heroic shot.
yeah. Almost
And then
got
this thing, clink. Whoa. Almost devastated
the
her.
score. The score is
Hit the
just
button.
so good. Like it's doing. Dun, dun, dun,
Hey.
dun, dun. You made it, lady.
I'm gonna forget how many laws of physics that violated because that scene was so daggone cool.
Yeah, you forgive it because
So
it's
good.
so good.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's the thing about great storytelling is people don't mind suspending some belief, right? If the
Yeah.
story's
No,
good.
if
Yeah.
it's earned, if the key word is earned, if it's been earned,
Yes.
then it's fine. You know,
That's right.
yeah. But you got to earn it. Can't just do it.
Not bad for a human.
Yeah. Not bad. Bishop, I had you pegged wrong. Well,
I know,
We
right?
we're sorry,
no,
Bishop.
still don't trust you.
We finally see Rebecca Jordan again.
Oh, yeah. I forgot that's her real name.
Yeah, now this is a great leave for the end of if you're going to do a sequel, you end with Newt, Hicks will be healed, we can fix Bishop, everyone can come back.
Yeah.
And Alien 3 is like, how about none of them come back and Ripley's going to have a shaved head?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that pissed me off.
Yeah.
Yeah, it actually Alien 3 has a good soundtrack. But I just did not like the film.
Yeah.
And by the way, the
the
CGI doesn't hold up that well either.
No,
Oh,
the
really?
director's cut is better, but doesn't fix it. But
I did hear that before, Lance, that the director's
Yeah.
cut makes the film
it's
better.
it's worth seeing the director's cut because it doesn't fix all the problems, but it is a better movie.
Interesting.
I'd give it, the director's cut's like a 7 out of 10 for me.
Okay, maybe I might even watch that tonight then, because I've heard about that a couple times now.
I've all these pictures that I've been trying to find for retro for ages. I've found them all tonight. So good.
Oh, good.
And I just got to say, I thought if they wanted to, they could have made Newt another heroine, to carry the torch, show her in her 20s, kicking some
Absolutely.
butt.
But there's a big story behind why that went the way it did. But the William Gibson script was better. They should have gone with that.
Wow.
Yeah, so insane. Yes. Oh,
Feel
sorry.
good after all these days. Still holds
Isn't
up.
it? So wonderful.
Put
Wow,
my-
guys.
I mean, like I said, one of my top 3 films. I will never get bored of watching Aliens. It's got all the it factors you can want in a film, and that's why it stood the test of time.
Yeah, it does. It has, I guess one of the main things it does correctly is they decided on what the story was, and like they respected what came before. They stuck to it, and then they added more to the world, and they had consequences for everything that happened.
Mm-hmm.
And and they meant something. So when little things that you picked up in the beginning of the film actually like continues through the film to serve the story beautifully.
Right.
I
And,
think-
and one thing that we've talked about a couple times, even like Lorena and I have talked about it, Retro and I have talked. Ripley's vulnerable in this film. It does not make her weaker. It makes her stronger. It's the exact opposite of the message that seems to have gotten out over the last 10 years or so, where they want to depict heroines without flaws. And I think that that's a mistake.
Yeah, because those aren't real. That's not a real person.
Well, I've always wondered, if you have a Ray, let's say, what is a girl supposed to do if she's having serious self-doubt? She can't go like, well, what would Ray do? Oh, well, Ray never has self-doubt. So harder to relate to that. You want a character that struggles like you do. And then you want to see how they overcome that, because it's hard to overcome.
Now,
you guys, sorry, go ahead.
Another
Go ahead.
thing that I would like to just mention about this movie, and the reason why we can't forget about Aliens 2, the reason why people always bring it up, Aliens, it's Alien 2, but it's Alien. The reason why we love this movie so much is because of all of the moments that are unique to the film, such as, and we talked about it a little bit, the quotes. They're really unique to this film. So instead of just playing upon all of the things the quotes from the other movie, that was great. It sets its own standard. Terminator 2 does the same thing as well. It does have a few moments where it does do some requotes, but they're not meant to be the punchline. They've instead created new quotes that are just iconic, like "Hasta la vista, baby." And with movies, especially the ones that we don't stop talking about, the ones that we never can forget, you really do need an iconic quote in it. I feel like that's like a piece of the formula that's unconsciously in these films. I don't think they go out to say, okay, let's find a new line for everybody to say. It's just that the script is written so well.
Brilliant script.
And the characters are just, you can feel that all of the lines are coming from within who they are.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it so good. Game over, man. It's like that's something. Hudson has a psychological profile, and it means something.
You even remember that stroppy woman in the meeting scene. You remember the meeting at the beginning, and that woman goes, something that's not existed on 4,000 worlds, and she's really frumpy. She's like a frumpy dinner lady, but
Yeah.
she sticks in your head. That character, you remember that character.
Yeah, because she's condescending, and you don't like that.
Even those little characters in this film, you still remember them.
Yeah, you remember the bureaucrat, Van Leeuwen, who led the
Van
meeting. You
Leeuwen as
remember all
well.
those guys.
And that scene is much longer in the extended cut as well. That scene, it's really good. It's actually a better scene.
Yeah, in the extended cut, I think Van Leeuwen goes into a longer diatribe about how Ripley is unfit to hold a license for anything.
Oh,
You guys want to see my face hugger?
Yeah.
Yes, let's see your face hugger.
Here you go.
Let me see if I can get
Oh,
you.
wow.
Hold on. There you go.
That is
That
on.
is great.
That's
That's so
I've
cool.
got another angle of it, but basically you've got a mouthpiece like you would have on a diving scuba thing, and you breathe in and out of that, and that would inflate the sacs.
Oh my goodness.
That's
I've got
really well done.
I've got another shot of it here, and I've also got the alien masks that we built for the same game. Look at these.
Oh, that's nice.
Ooh, nice.
We built 6 of these things with resin, secreted resin. So we did a mold for them. They were quite fragile. So we did this for the Aliens game, which basically was a rerun of the actual movie. And then we also had them for the Aliens Predator game. So, which was about 2 years later. That's the Aliens and Predator.
Oh, that's
team.
awesome.
Predator. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
This is from the game, because I had like a photographer team on the game, so I was able to get all these really cool photos. This photo's good. See the alien. Oh, hang on, let me move my fingers. It's really like the bit with Dietrich when she gets pulled up, and I've got aliens attacking a predator in this one.
Oh wow!
Nice.
So. Yeah, the amount of work we did on this game, I remember it was colossus. You know, this was like a still of the Predators when we were doing like a publicity shot with the costumes. And we took them out on this day that was boiling hot, quite rare for the UK. Everybody melted. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. So I thought you'd find that interesting.
Oh, cool.
I think I ran about 6 of those.
Hold on one second.
Those are awesome, Lance.
What just happened? Hold on a second. Okay, Doug, you have a picture. That's what happened.
Oh yeah, this is. I told you, aliens scared the heck out of me when I was a kid, but or I was 10 or 11. But I remember I drew this picture. I was drawing them all the time.
That's your work. Oh my goodness.
How old were you when you drew that?
10 or 11. It was when the movie came out.
Pretty good, man, with the shading and the pencil. I love that.
Yes.
Yeah, I was drawing them all the time, and I remember my mom was like, "Now, Doug, you don't want to become obsessed." I was like, "I'm a creative. We're obsessed with everything."
Yes.
This is perfect for Valentine's Day. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Yeah. So, folks, we just watched one of the best movies of all time.
It's incredible. Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's just incredible. Any last words about the movie? We're gonna head out really soon because right after this, we're all gonna, well, not all of us, but we're gonna go over to Lorena Creole's channel and enjoy a movie called Action Jackson. And I don't know if you guys have ever seen it.
I love that. I love that film, but it will be my bedtime after this. But I had a massive crush on Vanity. Massive.
Oh
crush.
yeah, who didn't?
Yeah.
A lot of people did.
Yeah, she was
She's
amazing.
gorgeous.
Yeah. So yeah, anyone, we could start with you, Lorena. Like, any last words, finishing statements about the movie?
The movie is just dang near perfect. And it's just amazing how it still holds up years later. So many pop culture references have come from it. It's just perfect from beginning to end. You have a strong female character who doesn't have to announce she's a strong female character. It's
Yes,
what
thank
you
you.
see her do.
Yeah.
And that's what we love about it, which is why we can forgive a couple of inconsistencies here and there, because the story is so good. So yeah, I love this. This is also for me where the Alien franchise stopped, because
Yeah.
I don't
Yes.
acknowledge the other ones
Agree.
at
I'd
all.
agree.
But this one, it's just like you just need one, and this one, Alien and Aliens, it's just freaking amazing film.
Yeah. Now, I will say that I do have a guilty pleasure watch for Resurrection. It's hilarious.
Me too.
So
Resurrection is kind of a
I
guilty
love it.
pleasure movie for me.
I'm not a
Yeah.
fan
Oh,
of that
it's
film.
That's
That
a
dumb
that's it.
alien at the end.
MST3K movie that you could do. It's
It
not. Yeah, I got you. It's like, it's for me, it's so bad it's good. It's like out of morbid curiosity, I have to watch it. I get you, Reginald.
yeah, it is. It is really fun to watch. Any words from you? Oh, Lance just went off. Well, we'll start with you, Douglas. What
Well, I
any last
said,
words about the movie?
yeah, I said most of what my general thoughts were in the opening segment. All I'll say is that Aliens is one of the best movies ever made, in my opinion, and I think it's the kind of thing that you can just keep on deconstructing. You can look into what was done to make the film. You can look into the behind the scenes, the stories of the actors. Like, there's just as much out there as you want, and it all holds up. It's all interesting. It's all fascinating. I think Lance mentioned there's a recent documentary that came out about it.
Yeah,
It's been 40 years, and we want more.
Wow.
Yeah.
All of the surviving cast take part in it, which is what makes it really special. Aliens Expanded, it's called.
I got to get that. I'm going to buy it right now.
Oh man, where are you getting it from?
I'm
I think
checking on Amazon.
Okay.
I think there's a Blu-ray available of it because it was crowdfunded, I believe, as a project.
Yes, I remember seeing it. It was everywhere.
It's really good. It's really worth your.
Okay, it's not on Amazon.
Okay.
You,
Well, while you guys look for that, Lance, why don't you tell us your last thoughts about the movie? I gotta have to hurry up
I
a
know,
little bit because we
I'll
gotta
be quick.
get over
I'll be
to
quick.
living.
What I want to say really is coming at this purely from a cinema goer's perspective, which I was an avid film goer by this point. I want to thank Rick Gale and Herder, Jim Cameron, and the whole team for giving me one of the best cinematic experiences of my life. You could never recreate that atmosphere at the very first ever screening of Aliens with a public audience at that Odeon Marble Arch. It was the midnight screening. Midnight screenings weren't a thing back then. And, all these people came. It was completely packed out. I've never been in an audience quite like that. I've been in others that were very good, but this was, they had us by the skin of our teeth from the get-go, and they never let go. And it was just such a joyride to experience that film with that audience in that cinema with that sound system and that 70mm print and screen. You're talking the size of the screen was like about 5 houses wide and 4 stories high. So it was at the time, it was the biggest screen in the UK. And it was just an incredible cinematic experience, which the generations of today are not gonna experience for themselves, unfortunately. Because they're all used to watching stuff on their phone, and you just don't get audiences like that anymore, really. So yeah, it was one of the best cinema experiences ever. Rarely matched. I could do another stream about that, and we could discuss what got closed. But yeah, I can't think of another time I saw a movie with an audience where everybody was so into it. Every emotional beat was hit. Every jump scare. It was just amazing. What a night, and I still remember it as clear as yesterday. Which, considering my memory is rubbish, I'll end on this embarrassing photo of me. So check this out. This is young Lance. Look at that. holding an
Oh,
alien.
wow.
This was on an aliens game. There's another alien guy there, and it was in a maze. We had it in a maze. It was like a massive maze, and the aliens could come out the walls and stuff. Anyway, yeah,
Oh
that's
my
me with
God,
that.
that's
cool.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was me with my headset on, running the game. There was another silly one there with me between two aliens. Oh my God, I had all my teeth then. Yeah, I had all my teeth back then. Looked a lot nicer. I was probably about 18
All
then.
right. So you guys know what that sound is. That's the sound that tells me I need to head over to Lorena Creole's
Yeah.
channel. So guys,
a
this
good
is her
one.
channel. Her link is in the chat. I managed to put that in there. At Keith E's request, I put everybody's links to all your channels. That's Douglas
Thank
A.
you.
Burton. We got Lorena Creole's channel in there, and we also have Lance from the Outcast Creative channel in there as well. So, and then Douglas, you also have a link in there. What's to that?
That's for Aliens Expanded if you want to buy the documentary.
Oh,
There you
okay.
I just found it and I just bought it.
Oh,
Oh.
a man of action.
Yeah, I might get a physical copy of that.
Oh,
So is it game over?
I think it's game over, man.
Game over, man.
Over, man.
Thank
Game
you
over.
so much for having me on at the last minute. Wasn't sure if I
Oh.
would get home in time, so I'm really grateful for the invite. Thank you.
Oh, it's my pleasure, and I'm so glad you were able to, join us and everyone on the panel tonight. All 207 of you watching, again, graciously, thank you so very much. On the way out, if you guys could give us a subscribe to the channel, that would be great. And I think we're just to let everybody know, next week we have got a wonderful watch party for the matinee. Let's see which one it is.
Is it RoboCop?
You might have something. RoboCop is on the way. Let's see.
I saw RoboCop at that same cinema, by the way, on the opening
Oh,
night.
it's
At the
Bram
Odeon Marble
Stoker's
Arch.
Dracula, guys. So
Oh yeah.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
saw
That was
that
a
at the
good
Odeon
one.
Leicester Square for my birthday. That was another birthday trip.
Oh, you got
Oh,
a new member, Retro.
I do. Oh my God, you've got to see. Hold on.
Gate of Marvel.
Kingdom Marvel, welcome to the Retroverse, where we can hang out and just experience everything retro. I've got some new things that I put in for members this week, and next week we got a lot of topics to talk about. So if you're part of the members, you'll see that. Thank you once again. Thanks for becoming a member, Gate of Marvel. Just really awesome.
Awesome.
So great. Thanks, Doug, for recognizing that. And yeah, let's go on ahead and get on out of here. This is and by the way, for becoming a new member, let's just do one little thank you video really quickly for that awesome thing there. Let's see if I can
Not
find
me
a nice
dancing,
one.
is it?
Oh, no, not that one. This one. Woo! Okay. All right, everybody. I hope you have a great night, and I hope you'll join us over at Lorena Creole's channel. But if you don't get to do that, hopefully I will see you next week. Take care, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Retro Nerd Girl, you are clear for takeoff.
In the neon light she stands, retro girl with nerd comments. Memory lane she takes your hand to the past where good times land. Pixels glow and screens do hum, hear the beat of retro drum. Geeks unite, oh here we come, nerdy world where we're from. Retro logo leads the way, in the night to yesterday. All the nerds come out to play, she's the light, won't go away. Film and movies on rewind, good old days in nerdy mind. guiding us all intertwined. Joystick games and cosmic fights, wondrous days and sleepless nights. With her everything feels right, retro glow in neon lights. On rewind, good old days in nerdy mind. Retro nerd girl you will find, guiding us all intertwined. Joystick games and cosmic fights, wondrous days and sleepless nights. With her everything feels right, retro glow